rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Hello and welcome to a historic day in British basketball, as right here at Utilita Arena in Birmingham, the very first winners of the Super League Basketball Betty Cadona Trophy Final will be crowned. The women's final sees two teams looking to win their first ever titles. Oakland Wolves and the Caledonia Gladiators compete in a major showpiece final for the first time in their history. This game is just the first of a doubleheader of SLB Trophy Final action today, right here on DAZN, with the men's final between the Newcastle Eagles and the Bristol Flyers to come later. But for now, our focus is on the women's final. It's Oakland Wolves versus the Caledonia Gladiators, and tip is less than 30 minutes away. And welcome courtside. As you see, the fans are starting to fill the building behind me. There's no place that you'd rather be, and there's no place that I'd rather be than surrounded by greatness as we welcome Siobhan Pryor and Queen Z, Azania Stewart, to the house. Z, let me kick off things with you. Set the scene. Describe the emotion, the environment that these players will be walking into.
Well, even this morning, I was super nervous. I felt the butterflies like I was going to play. And I just had a lovely moment, but you don't want to get rid of the nerves, right? You want to enjoy it, you want to take it in, but it's a difficult time because the lights are bright and you've got to perform.
And I know from experience, these opportunities aren't guaranteed every day. So Siobhan, how do you balance wanting to take this all in, what Z alluded to, but then also staying locked in and keeping your eyes on the prize?
You know, it's different for every single person, and every person's journey is unique. So I think for me, it was always about coming in, popping my head in, looking at the big arena, enjoying the big lights for a moment, and then after that, going back to the locker room, reading through the scouting report, knowing what the game plan is, and I think focusing on the big moment to begin with, but looking at the game plan, focusing on the small moments that help us to win the game really help to settle your nerves.
And we hear that cliche, it's just another game. It's not just another game. Z, how do you prepare for a final?
Well, I think the week running up to the final is important, right? You really want to make sure your scout is down. You want to make sure that your routine, your plays, and that preparation is key. So then when you get here, you can rely on that prep and then just fully relax. Well, but if you haven't done the prep, then you're panicking, right?
You screwed.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you guys setting the scene, but let's keep the build-up going. But let's start with the Oakland Wolves, who are looking for their first ever title. The women's have devoured the competition throughout league play and coming in undefeated. So let's take a look at their journey on the road to the final.
Same for all the competitions this year is, can we mix it up with a sort of top four in the league, in this team? Obviously Oakland's has never been up there before, so we didn't know how realistic that was, but once we got into those games and those competitions, I think it's just a case of readjusting that goal each time. So getting out the group, we managed to handle that. Semi-final, did a very good job with that, and obviously we're one step away from the ultimate goal, which is winning it.
For us, I think it's gonna be big. It's such a big opportunity to spread the Oakland's name across the country, and like walking around when we see like some of the kids and some of the parents, they're really excited about being able to watch us up in Birmingham in the final.
Anything can happen in finals. It doesn't matter if they're the underdog or the team that's supposed to win. I think it's just a different environment.
I've learned a lot about individual players. Obviously us like living so close together and living with each other, we've had that extra opportunity to be able to bond and understand people, not just as players, but as personalities as well. And then that's helped us connect more on court as well.
This final will be very different because I'm with Oaklands, so it's my home team. It's a team where I grew up playing and developed loads. Obviously know a lot of people around the campus, and I've seen the journey that Oaklands have gone on, being involved as well as being outside the club, so for me it'll be really special.
This is a massive chance to make history. Like we talked about the semi-final and the games before that, but this is now the biggest moment for us.
Just a constant battle of getting sort of some respect, because obviously Oakland has always been seen as an academy program traditionally, not a winning program. So our reputation isn't one of being able to win, so I think it surprised a lot of people, and with that means that you don't always get the rub of the green, you haven't always got the best outcomes in every single moment, so it's about earning that kind of respect and those outcomes that we want as a group, and I think that we deserve.
They deserve to be here, Siobhan. They swept through the competition, besides that Leicester scare, but have they been challenged enough to seize the moment today?
You know, I think they have been challenged, and I think they've risen to the challenge. They've definitely got the momentum, unbeaten so far. And you know, in that semi-final against Essex, 5 people got double-digit scoring, so they're just going to share the load. Michael Ball, who's the mastermind behind Oakland since 2009, was talking about how this has been the most cohesive group he's ever had at the club, and I really hope they can do the club and Michael proud.
And speaking of the group, C, super talented and deep.
Yeah, and like Siobhan said, is they've done a lovely job in the summer, able to go out, recruit, and build that deepness into that bench. And really, a championship team for me is if you can go, you know, that 6th, 7th, 8th man, and nothing drops off. And that's why I think they're looking good for today's game.
And having that many bodies, Siobhan, how does that impact their style of play?
I like to watch them play. It's a fun, fast style of play. They lead the league in fast break points, so I think that's something Caledonia is going to have to watch out for today. But super exciting, lots of guards that can get to the rim, score for themselves and create for others.
And they got a veteran they can lean on, Shanice Beckford-Norton.
Yeah, she was my former teammate at London Lions, and you want a vet. And she's been here multiple times, you know. She's been able to be a captain, and no doubt she'll come out and lead. I think also she'll be in their ears, you know, just telling them, hey, enjoy the moment, have fun, and let's get the dub.
And do you know who her best favorite athlete is all time, Shanice?
I do not.
Azania Stewart, can you believe that?
What?
Yes, I mean, guys.
Are you joking?
I'm very serious. You're our favorite all-time athlete. But that was the Wolves' journey, as you saw, making it look easy. Now let's take a look at Caledonia's route to the final. A little bit more challenging path, but the Gladiators were able to put the competition to the sword.
Newcastle at home, I think, was big for us after the playoffs last year. We obviously lost out to them, so we were really excited to actually play them at home to start the season. And then Durham away are always a tough team.
Yeah, no one's ever just going to get there. You've got to earn it, and I think going into the first round, we competed, we did what we had to do. Semis, we knew was going to be a battle, which it was.
Playing Eurocup, it's felt like there's been about 3 seasons in one so far, and it has at times been really tough, but I think every tough moment has only made us stronger as a team.
I definitely felt like the underdogs against Sheffield. They were on a winning streak, they hadn't lost yet, they were playing so well together, they have so much talent. It was competitive the whole time, you could not let up at any point or else we were going to let them go on a run.
Just their ability to bounce back and just keep fighting, play through. We knew that that semi-final was a make or break for us at that point in the season.
Every punch they threw, we threw one back, and it was a back and forth game.
Probably a game that could have gone either way, and we were just lucky that we edged out a few plays and that came good down the stretch. So yeah, everything a semi-final should be was what that game was.
To know that you're playing for the club, for your country essentially, in that final, I think if we were to get over that hurdle, would be really special.
You get one shot at it, you can't rewind. It's not like a league game where you can make it up later on.
But winning the trophy final would be top of my career, absolutely #1.
And see, Shanice is that pillar that Oaklands can lean on. But for the Gladiators, you got Hannah Robb, you got Kirsty Brown that's been here before.
Yep.
They will want to get some redemption.
Absolutely, and they've also been my teammates, so I know how they play. I think Hannah Robb has been a gritty player. It's why she made the GB team. She gets on the floor, she does the dirty things, she's going to dive, and she's just a hustle player, and that's something that really sparks the Gladiators.
Well, let's look at the team from a whole, Siobhan. What have you seen from the Gladiators that give you confidence that they could be the first team to take down the Wolves?
I think one of the things is that they've been tested this year. They've been in Eurocup, so they've been on a big stage already. I have every confidence in Coach Chantal Handy that she's got them ready for the game and for this moment. I always see that they have, especially defensive schemes, like really locked in. They have smart players, they have experienced players, and they stick to their game plan. They make the other team work for every bucket that they get, and I think that's something they're going to have to do today with the depth of Oakland. Oaklands, and I think if they do that and make this a half-court game, it's going to be exciting.
And that's a great point. They got depth that matches the Oaklands, but a complete contrast of styles.
Yeah, completely. You know, they're well coached, like you said. Oaklands want to go that first 8 seconds push. But I do want to talk about last year and the season where London Lions were in the Euro Cup. Now it's the Caledonia Gladiators where they're able to step up. And the London Lions really brought that level up, and where the rest of the league said, okay, let's step it up. And this is a great example of both of these teams who have done a wonderful job, and now it's their turn to shine. And that's why I'm super excited. Obviously, we're both players from this league and grown up in basketball, so it's super nice to see this.
Well, hopefully, for the Gladiators' sake, that Euro Cup experience will be able to lean on tonight. But let's meet some of the players who will be in action. And Queen Z gave us 2 players to keep our eyes on. Sam Ashby for the Oaklands and Delaney Byrne for Caledonia. Alex Duffel got a chance to catch up with them earlier.
Delaney, as a team, you've only lost once since the beginning of December. Do you feel you've hit form at the right time ahead of this final?
Absolutely. I mean, I think just having that momentum going in, kind of had a rocky start. A lot of games, Euro Cup games, to prepare us for this moment, and having that momentum coming to this final, I think hitting that peak at the right time, and hopefully looking forward to continuing that tonight.
And you came through a really tough semi-final against Sheffield Hatters, a game where you top scored. Do you think that having come through such a close game to get to the final is a big advantage for you guys?
I think so. I think just the biggest piece is having that confidence, and going in and playing together as a unit really helped us come away. I mean, that was a tough game. I think it really tested us, but being able to collectively, you know, have all the pieces kind of come together at the right time definitely builds that confidence coming into this game.
And the second time you faced Oaklands Wolves already this season, they came out 85-73 winners first time. What did you take from that game that you think can give you the edge tonight?
I mean, obviously they're a very competitive team, so just knowing that we have to lock into our game plan, and as I said, just playing together as a complete team, all 5 on the court and everybody else on the bench, and everybody being locked in is really the key for us.
Delaney, thanks very much. Best of luck. I'm undefeated this season and fresh off a big win last weekend. Team must be full of confidence heading into today.
Yeah, definitely being undefeated brings a big aspect into this. I think we're an amazing team, and I don't even think we've played our best yet, but to be undefeated, super confident coming into the game.
Yeah, and what's been the key to success this year? You know, you mentioned they're maybe not expected to be undefeated, and yet you are. So what's been the key to that success?
I think we really get on with each other, on and off the court. We're all, like, the chemistry is there, and like just the energy and the way that we've conducted practices this year, I think is the best we could have done.
And chance for the first silverware of the season on the line today. Is it a chance to lay down the marker to the other teams in the league?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you said, we're undefeated, so I think we've kind of already proved ourselves, but to get that win today would just show definitely where we deserve to be.
Sam, thanks very much. Best of luck today.
Well, there you see it there. We will keep our eyes locked in on Z's Star Watch, see if one of them will be walking away with that trophy at the end of the day. But Siobhan, the scouting report, Sam Ashby, is pretty easy. You bet not leave her open.
Yeah, I mean, we all know she can shoot from the three-point line. She's got a great shot, and she can shoot it quickly and from deep as well. If you talk to her teammates, she is that competitor where you want her on your team, but you hate playing against her. I always love playing with those kind of players. They give you the freedom to really play your game. But she's leading them in scoring, 13 points. She doesn't just do it from the three-point line. She can get to the rim as well. But she's really just one of those players that does absolutely everything the team needs, and I think she's ready for a big moment.
And speaking of wanting her on your team, she's suiting up for GB now. Could make an impact for them in a couple of weeks during the international break.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see her playing in those World Cup pre-qualifying games, and I think getting some of that experience as well is going to set her up to be quite successful here too.
Well, let's move over to Delaney Byrne. A new age forward, just really versatile.
Yeah, and I love what she said, just talking about the confidence and where it's come from and getting that huge win versus Sheffield. Like they said, they thought they were the underdogs, and they didn't care if they were the underdogs or whatever they were. They were going to come out and play well, and I think she's a big part of it. She's able to stretch the floor. She's shooting 36% from the three-point line, but also she's rebounding. She's rebounding very well, and that's what you want. You want that second opportunities to score, and that's going to be big for them.
But That R-word rookie, you concerned?
Yeah, she is a rookie. I always treated my rookies like, listen, you're here, you're with the senior women, you're here with, you're a pro, whatever you are. Don't worry about that. You've put in the work. But you know, there are moments that she looked a little bit nervous in that, you know, in that interview. But no doubt, once the ball goes up, she'll be fine.
Well, we appreciate that, ladies. We appreciate you, Siobhan, for lending us our time. We're going to let you head back over there with Dan Rowledge. We'll catch up with you in a couple of minutes. And as you can see, the atmosphere in here is beginning to build as the players continue their warm-ups. And for Beth Sarson, Oakland Wolves basketball means everything, both on and off the court.
It's very important to me. I came here when I was 17, I think, so obviously it's been a huge part of my life up till now. When I came, it's just kind of, I came just because I enjoyed basketball. I just had a lot of fun with it, and I just kind of wanted to, you know, just play more essentially. But when I came here, it really expanded my knowledge. I learned so much on the court. I got surrounded by such good people that it's kind of like translated to other aspects of my life as well. It's way bigger than basketball. Obviously, I only live 20 minutes down the road, but for me, no matter where I am, it's always going to be like home for me. It has shaped who I am today, and obviously the basketball's great because I still love it, you know, 10 years down the line and I still love it, so that's obviously a really good sign. But, you know, I look to Oaklands as like a whole community. It's definitely just bigger than basketball. Lee and Michael always had big aspirations and big goals, and I remember that from the first visit when I came. They always had, you know, they always wanted to go to Europe, they wanted to play at the top level. But for me, it was kind of just like, oh, that sounds cool. But then actually being involved and it's, you know, actually seeing it happen and it really take off, it's something really special, and it's something that definitely everyone involved deserves because, you know, year in, year out, they've really just put in the work. And they never gave up on it either because, you know, it's been quite a rough ride and it's always been hard when you have an academy team, I think, to compete at the top level, but they've always believed in it and never gave up. So, yeah, it's definitely paid off. I remember about the finals, just the build-up. Was obviously huge, I think, in terms of like the social media, the media. The league does a really good job of promoting it. You know, they've been promoting it for a while now, and it is a big build-up. I remember the actual like day and the day before, even the week before. It's quite normal because you just want to stay normal. You know, just approach it as another day. Obviously, when you go and practice, you're kind of like, whoa, because like the arena's so nice. But I think as soon as the ball tips, it's just another game, and I don't think it really hits you until after. So I don't feel like I'm going to be too, you know, excited, too nervous. It will just be afterwards when I reflect on it and how big it was. You want to win every game, and obviously this is a big game, so you're going to want to win it. But I think in that moment it will be quite emotional. But I think looking back, it's just something to be so proud of because, yeah, we're normally fighting for playoff spots, so the fact that we're in the final now, you know, it's something so special. And yeah, we'll definitely be proud. It'll be emotional in the moment, but I think no matter the outcome, we're going to be proud of this year.
Once said, started from the bottom. I ain't gonna do that to you. But that describes Beth Sarson, right? How special is this day for her?
Absolutely. Longest standing British player, joined the club when she was 17. You know, she's from the roots, like you said, from the bottom, and now she's at this final, and I think it means so much for her. But what I love about her, she's really immersed herself into the Oakland communities where she lives, and when somebody really cares and loves for something, it comes out in their game.
And I love that. And when you look at the team, it's a superstar roster, but you get a sense that Beth is the leader of this team.
Yeah, I think you can really rely on somebody, especially if you're coming into the team, you know, the imports, the Americans, and you can look up to her and understand, wow, this is what we're doing, and follow her lead.
And speaking of Americans, she spent 2 years across the pond, similar to yourself.
Yeah.
How does that experience shape a young player?
Yeah, I think it's the American dream, right? I think they do a wonderful job being able to get a scholarship and get your degree, but they do create this kind of dog mentality, and you learn, and it really changed my game and it changed hers. And I got to work with her this summer, and she puts in the work.
Like you mentioned, doing a great job there in the community for St. Albans. Well, we got 10 minutes until tip, so let's switch our attention over to the Gladiators for just a moment and hear from guard Robin Lewis, who this season has become the all-time leader for games played in the women's top flight. It's been some journey.
I was 11 the first time I played, and actually, this is quite funny, I was really into sports as a kid. Like, I did a lot of different sports, but one of my friends wanted me to go to basketball with her, and I really didn't want to go for some reason. I like really protested, but she didn't want to go by herself, so I tagged along, and after the first session, I loved it. We both played actually for a little while, and then she dropped off. She was more musical, but even now I've seen her and she's like, it's because of me that you've done all this and done all these different things. 11-year-old Robin would kind of be laughing if she thought that would have been the plan for the next however many years. When I was deciding where to go to university, there wasn't any basketball options, certainly within like the professional women's league in the UK here. So I chose to go to Loughborough because that wasn't available to me in Scotland. So for me now, it's lovely to see, especially the younger players like Kerry, Alex, Emma on our team, like they're studying here and they're playing here, and for me, that's incredible. Like, I wish I'd had that opportunity when I was their age. So yeah, it's grown a huge amount, and the club's been central to that, I would say. Like, I think right now, even with the Gladiators stuff, like, I would laugh if people told me that this would be the setup even 5 years ago. So for me, at like 11 or as a teenager, that really didn't seem like a realistic goal for me at that point. So yeah, right now, sometimes it is taking that pause moment and looking back and going, actually, the game generally and me as a small, tiny little piece of that have come a long way in that time, and that's actually really cool when you take time to actually reflect on that. I love that little kids here see me and they see a tiny player on the court playing basketball, and if that's them in their session, they're like, well, someone else does it, so I can do it too. I do remember it just being an amazing atmosphere, like having family in the crowd, and just getting to play on a big stage. And I think now that I've played for such a long time, you realise that that doesn't necessarily happen very often, so it makes it more special when it does. As you get older, body gets older, the grind gets harder in some respects. So yeah, you savour it a lot more each season because you don't really know when you're going to make that decision. And I think having walked away for a year already, I understand what life is like without it. And I can fill my life with other things, that's fine, but there's something really special about being involved in a team and going to grind with those people every day in the pursuit of a common goal. So yeah, I do think it adds like a little extra layer every time you're like, okay, another one, maybe we'll do it this year. I don't know how many more years I'm going to play for. I'm getting on a little bit now, and I'm so passionate about this club and what it represents. So I think for me it's such a special occasion for all of us here at Caledonia Gladiators.
Well, she says she's getting older. I just saw her running full speed out there during warm-up. But your playoff final, I vividly remember you walking around with a black and white camera. So you know Robin won't take this moment for granted.
Yeah, you don't take it for granted at all. She's only 30 years old, but she doesn't know when, you know, her career is going to end, but she's enjoying it. And that's the most important. Why I had that black and white camera, it was an old school one, is just to take those moments, because you do take them for granted, I think, until later on you can look back. But for Robin, she is also the strength and conditioning coach for this team, which is massive. She might not be big on the stats line, but she does so much for this team, and she's just solid. You know she's not going to turn over the ball. She's going to look after it, and she's going to be really good.
She's one of those that she's not a box score player, right? You look at her, she has all those intangibles, that you just alluded to. But if she's able somehow to get this done, what would this do for her legacy?
Oh, huge. You know, to take this trophy back, not for her legacy, but also for the Gladiators, right? They're trying to get their first one. And for her, it'll put the cherry on top. For me, I won both of mine here, and I'll never forget it. You know, you never forget Birmingham. I think they fill it out. The fans are amazing, and it's something that you'll just cherish for the rest of your life.
And similar to yourself, it will be so special. She can do that for a team that's right in her backyard. But it is nearly go time. As you can see, Coach Handy right there in Birmingham as the players are introducing the crowd. Let's get a final check-in with the coaches. A big day for them as well. The Wolfpack's Lee Ryan and the Glass Chantel Handy have both been speaking to Alex Duffy.
Chantel, an opportunity today to become the first Scottish women's side to win a major trophy. Does being on that verge of history just add a little bit of extra specialness to this day?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we're trying to grow the brand of basketball in Scotland as well as the UK, so I think it'll be huge for us to bring the trophy home today.
And the unbeaten Oaklands Wolves stand in your way. How tough is it going to be to beat them today?
Yeah, I know they're flying at the minute, right? They've got confidence, they've been undefeated, no one's touched them throughout the season, so it'll be a battle today. I think it's going to be a good show.
And we saw some extraordinary scenes a few years ago when the men won their trophy final, of course. Are we seeing a little bit similar celebrations perhaps afterwards? Is the sword going to make an appearance again?
Well, we'll see. Let's just see how the game goes, and obviously if it does go that way, hopefully the sword will make an appearance, yes.
Coach, thanks very much. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
Lee, today marks the first final in the club's history. Just how much are you looking to get out there on the big stage and showcase you and your team's talent?
Yeah, we can't wait. It's been a long week in a build-up to a final. It always is. The time drags, but we're excited. We're ready. The players have got good energy. They feel good for the final. So yeah, we're super excited.
Undefeated this season across all comps, but does today's challenge, is it the biggest that you're going to have to go overcome all season so far?
Oh, for sure. I don't think any of us expected to be undefeated at this stage. We wanted to win. We wanted to move ourselves up the table, and we've done a fantastic job to this date to be in this position. But yeah, it's going to be a whole different test in an arena, in a final, and Caledonia are a good team, so they're going to make it tough.
Yeah, you mentioned they're a good team. You beat them already once this season when you met back in early November. Can you take confidence from that game, or is today a totally different proposition?
I think we can take a little bit. They led early, and obviously we did a good job of coming back and then managing the game towards the end. So that was good character building for us in that game. But with their European experience and their big game experience, I think that they're going to feel like they can take us today. So we're going to have to play well.
Lee, thanks very much. Best of luck.
Can we trust your girl Chantel with the sword?
Yes, we can. Of course you can.
I bet you she would love to have it. But as we take a look at the stats, they're both teams getting it done. We talked about the depth, but as far as style of play, on complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, so different. Oakland's want to really try and push the ball and score in the first 8 seconds. They're going to get out in transition. Where for the Gladiators, they're very structural. She's coached them well. They'll have defensive plan. I got to speak to her at the beginning of the game. Earlier on, when I said, hey, you got any sneaky things going on? She said, you know I do.
Is there an advantage for Oakland's getting that dub early?
Yeah, I think so. You can go back to that game and scout it as well.
They will quickly put you on the spot. Oakland's, Caledonia, who you got?
Well, my best friend is Chantel Handy. I'm going to go with the Gladiators.
In that case, I'm going with the Wolves. Well, it is nearly game time, and we're going to hand you over to our comms team, Daniel Rowledge and Siobhan Pryor, as they will have you on the ones and twos, taking you through every single dribble.
Thank you very much, Drew. Yeah, what a day this is here in Birmingham. This venue has hosted finals for 25 plus years. This city has a long legacy of basketball, particularly the major finals. We saw some highlights of you playing a few years ago here,
a few
Siobhan.
years.
This is the day on the calendar everybody looks forward to, everybody gets excited for. And if you're out there on court, you just want the ball to go up.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the thing. You do want the ball to go up in the air because that's kind of the karma. As soon as the ball goes up, then we can start to play. I think it's nice to revel in the moments beforehand, but I think, yeah, around about this point, everyone on the court right now will be thinking, let's get to it.
Here's the roster for the Caledonia Gladiators, perhaps the underdogs here, but we've been talking about it before the day. This is a hard-working, scrappy team at times. They make it difficult for you. I was talking to the owner, Steve Timoney, before the game. He says Shan has been doing a great job this week, getting them ready for it. They won't lack for preparation today.
They won't. Look, listen, Shan is elite, right? She's been elite as a player. She's played on the biggest stages there is, and she puts the work in. That's how she got to where she got to as a player, and that's how she's going to get to where she's going to get to as a coach.
Well, she's been on many a big stage before, but a chance at the front end of her coaching career to get some silverware on. Let's have a look at the lineup for the Oakland Wolves. And wow, what a growth this is from Oakland. You think back to the early years of this club coming in. Now you look at this roster, it's loaded up and down, and they do have big final experience, maybe not as a team, but as individuals.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've already talked about Shanice Beckford-Norton, but she's been in a number of finals. I think she told me this might be her 13th trophy if she wins today, so they do not lack in experience. And even the newer players, Danielle McRae, 6. She's had 6. She's played in 6 different countries overseas. She's ready for the big moment. They've got a lot of experience. They're exciting.
For Beckford-Norton, it would be a 13th in a row.
No way.
She's won for 13 already, 13 of the last 14 pieces of silverware. Shanice Beckford-Norton has been out there on court winning the last 12, or obviously all with London. and she has just dominated the scene. Of course, MVP in the playoff final a few years ago. Coming into the game, the ball's about to go up. You're getting the last few instructions before you go out there. How easy is it just to focus on the moment? Don't look around you, don't look at the big venue, the crowd and all of that.
I think the most important thing to focus on is to allow yourself to see the things around you. If you try to start stopping yourself from taking the moment in, I think that's where you can go wrong. It's just about taking the moment in and then starting to remember the things that are going to help you to win the game.
Domager, Robb, Tudor, Brown and Harris, the 5 that will go for Caledonia Gladiators to get us underway in this final. De Silva, McGee, Pleasant, McRae, Albiero and Ashby, the starting 5 for the Oakland Wolves. And of course 3 teams on the court as well. Our officials are out there. There's John Paul Heron alongside Paul Unsworth and Paulina Herritz. And the 5s are out. The talking can stop. The build-up, which has been going on for weeks, can come to an end, and we will decide which of these teams will be holding aloft the trophy that bears the name of the legendary Betty Cardona. Ball is up and we are underway. Caledonia, through Brown, get the first possession of the game. Here's Robb. Good hands to deflect that out of bounds. That will be possession to the Gladiators with 12 on the shot clock.
I like that action though on the weak side, that flare screen. I think they might be able to look to curl some of those and get to the rim.
Tudor hands it off. Domager for 3 off the mark, and Ashby and De Silva fighting each other for that rebound. Here's De Silva. So much experience in her hands. That's the sort of play you want on the court in a game like this. Can't convert on her first attempt though. Brown up top. Hands it off to Tudor, who loses the ball, but Caledonia keep possession. Robb round the screen, drive and kick. And first foul of the game is going to be on Ashby.
And they run the same action again twice in a row, and you see how they kind of overload one side towards the end of the play and it broke down, but it gives the guards that space and time to work and just get in the key, and Robb does a good job there of getting into the key and kicking it out to Brown.
Well, ball from the end, so it's 14 on the clock. It's into Harris. Robb coming off the double screen. Inside towards Harris, but De Silva gets a hand in the way.
Needed a little more float on that from Domager.
Ashby. De Silva, nice pass. Ball on the ground. That's a held ball. It will stay with the Wolves.
Lavinia De Silva, she's so versatile. Like you said, she's just so experienced. She has 9 years of experience, I think it is, with the Portuguese senior women's national team. Just a smart basketball player.
Won a league title with Seven Oaks as well in this country.
Yeah.
McGee Pleasant with the mid-range, strings it, and that'll make you feel good. See that first one splash home.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. It's always good to see the first bucket go down.
Oh, nice drive to the basket, and Caledonia are on the board.
Really excited to watch. She's a young point guard, young French point guard, Domager. I think she's going to be exciting today. She's got a lot of potential to get to the rim.
McGee Pleasant driving, spinning, a little too strong on that. Robb with the rebound. Robb still going, throws it back to Brown. Ball on the floor again, still loose, and we'll have another held ball, so the possession arrow, which flipped on the last one, will tell us that Caledonia will keep possession.
Yeah, I think Coach Handy just saying to Robb, if you don't have a fast break, that's okay. Let's just bring it out and play the shot clock, get into our offense.
Domager. Nice pass. Harris cutting to the basket for the easy layup.
Such a great passer. She's their best passer from assist perspective, 10th in the league as well. Demonge, 4.4 a game.
Ashby looking to penetrate, kind of stuck underneath now. Is that another elbow? I don't think I've ever seen 3 in the first 2.5 minutes of a game before.
What it's showing us is that both teams are ready to play. I think it's going to be a fast, physical game.
Well, the defense is quick to pounce. If you leave that ball out where they can get hands on it, that's for sure. Tough pull up there from Albiero and out of bounds for a Caledonia possession.
And she can knock those down. I think what's good to see is that Oaklands have come out and they're playing free. I think, you know, a first final, it's a big moment for the club. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, but I think every single player out here is doing what they do well and not shying away from the moment.
Harris, nice post work, great feet off the glass for 2. That's a very early turnaround, but it's good from McRae.
And what a beautiful battle this could be, watching these two go back and forth.
Well, it's nice to see the shots going down early. It's always a tricky one in this venue. You only get to play here if you're fortunate enough to reach the final. As Tudor fires up a 3. They obviously had practice last night. It's a little different when the bright lights are on and people are in. You don't get too much of a warm-up time before the game. The sight lines are a little different to other venues that they play in. You want them early shots to fall.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely sort of settles the nerves. And I think, you know, we've seen many finals, haven't we? And I think sometimes when we're not getting the easy scores as players, the next shot can have a lot more pressure on it. So
McRae, side of the board under pressure, wanted a foul, didn't get one. Rob in transition is fouled by De Silva.
Hannah Robb looking to push the ball at every moment.
Demonge to inbound, gets it to Rob. Round the screen from Brown. Keeps going, slipped away by Ashby, but able to hang on to it, the French point guard. Awkward spot here for Caledonia. Demonge is able to break out of it. 5 on the shot clock, fires it up from the line and knocks it down.
I am excited to watch her play. She's only 23 years old, but she's played EuroLeague and Euro Cup with teams in France. She's ready for the big stage.
Well, she's certainly made an impression on this final already. De Silva slipping to the basket, loses the ball. And there's going to be a foul there, I think, on Kirsty Brown.
Ashby doing a good job of taking the pressure there. Just, she doesn't panic, and I think that's one thing that sets her aside. She, like we said, she's ready for the moment at the top of the show, but she's calm out there. She's not going to force anything. She'll get what she gets when she gets it.
Well, both coaches using this 4-minute mark to make their first changes, 2 substitutions each. Here's Beckford Norton, who is one of them. Straight into the action, drive and kick out to the corner. For 2, the other substitution can't convert. Robb down the lane, getting all the way to the basket. She's been aggressive early, Hannah Robb. Got to get back, though. Beckford Norton is one of the quickest in the league, and she was attacking right away.
And smart decision from her as well. She kind of lost control of the ball a little bit, and then she knew she felt the contact, so she just goes up, gets it up at the rim.
We've seen Robb get into the lane a few times today. She's kicked it out. She's moved the ball, this time more aggressive to the rim.
I mean, the thing is with Hannah Robb is that you have to respect her three-point shot. And so it means that you have to run her off the three-point line, which opens up the middle for her.
Well, Beckford Norton gets her first point of the game. I mentioned that MVP performance in a playoff final a few years ago. 30 points she had in the final. Never easy to get a big number on the board in a big stage game. That was in the COVID year, so it was behind closed doors as well, slightly different. from Lewis. It wasn't the best pass, so able to chase it to the sideline. They're in all sorts of shot clock problems here. It needs to go. She's going to have to shoot from basically 30 feet, but doesn't quite go. Offensive rebound, though, and not quite. I thought for a second they were going to get a few points out of that from nothing with Adams laying it up.
Great defense by Rob to play in between two and stop the fast break there.
De Silva off the mark. Lewis round the screen. McGarrican rolls to the elbow. Here's Adams. Second spell with Caledonia. Trying to go to work. Has it knocked away? Again, it's late shot clock for Caledonia. And a couple of free throws as a result.
Not a smart foul from Fotu. She's in all sorts of problems. Taya Adams getting to the rim there. She didn't have the angle on the shot. So when you get to the rim, like you can see here, you almost use the angle as another defender. And if it's such a tight angle, you don't need to foul. Just make her make a difficult shot.
Well, I don't know if it's me. It's only a 4-point game and Caledonia are up, but it feels like Caledonia have had to work a little harder for their shots, and their shots have been a little bit more difficult.
I think in the last few possessions, I think Oaklands have been able to get out and run a little bit more, but yeah, for sure, I think the ball's been on the floor a little bit more for the Gladiators in the last few possessions. And that's not really the team that they are, so they need to sort of settle in and look at their sets.
Well, that's a wide open shot from the elbow from McRae.
Yeah, you can't leave her open. So versatile, she can knock it down anywhere.
Adams needs to get across midcourt here, just does it in time. Drive and kick out to Rob for three. Off the mark. McRae again, a lot of space, gets to the mid-range and knocks down another one.
She is here to play. We talked about her at the top of the show. She's averaging 12.5 points per game now. She's already halfway there.
But just look comfortable on those last two.
So comfortable, so comfortable, so confident.
Again, end of shot clock. Needs to go up. Lewis trying to find some room, gets it away.
Everybody running, committing to running as a team.
Rafferty being told to go, forced to kick it back out. Inside to Rafferty, just slipped through her hands. It was a nice roll to the basket, but wow, McRae just looks really smooth with it. The first one you can see they back away, leave her open at the elbow, and I think because that one goes in, the next one, which is a bit more difficult, is going in as well.
Yeah, and I think in a sense it's more difficult, but I think you saw in the first one, she had different options. Her eyes were looking left to right before she decided to shoot the ball. The second one there, she knew what she was doing straight away, but Caledonia are going to have to keep an eye on her.
Right battle down in the block. Harris trying to get the ball, but they can't find a pass to her. Adams under pressure, late whistle, but probably the right one. Fotu with the foul. That'll be the second and 2 free throws.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where the foul that she had in, the silly foul that she had in a couple of possessions earlier is going to come back to bite her. That was a better contest, but she still didn't go up vertical.
It's one of those things in big finals, sometimes the coaching rotations get a little tighter, so you don't want to give him a reason to sit you down.
Right, and I think as well as a coach, you trust your players, right? So she did get a bit of an early one, but you would expect her to not then make that same mistake again. So we'll see what that does to the makeup of this team, but you know they're so deep, it might not do anything at all.
Second one is short. McRae with the rebound. Beckford Norton. Back to McRae. Again, they're looking inside to Rafferty. Ashby. Great positioning from Rafferty, but needed that one to hit the backboard, and it didn't.
Ashby's garnering a lot of attention from the defense, and the other players for the Wolves are making the most of it. And now that'll be now team fouls for Oaklands, I think.
And again, those are the ones that, as a coach, you don't really want in that situation. Out on the three-point line, she's not going to shoot it from there, really. All you're going to do is send it to the line, a chance to get the scoreboard ticking, just to add to the three-point lead that the Gladiators have here.
Yeah, and I think especially for Delaney Byrne, because she shoots 81% from the foul line.
You didn't even get it out before she missed. Yeah.
Sorry, Delaney.
Missed them both.
I'll take it. I'll take that on me.
Here's Ashby. Gonna shoot the three. Back iron on that one. Adams with the rebound. Nice move with the crossover. Going all the way right down the middle. Can't convert. Byrne with the rebound though. Out to Harris. Winds one up from the free throw line and knocks it down.
She's 2 for 2 now. She's come out to play as well, Harris.
Beckford Norton again using the speed to slice through the defense. She'll shoot two.
And that's the danger of Oakland's, you know, leading the league in fast break points after a score even. They don't care if it's a miss, a steal, a rebound, or a score. They're still looking to run.
Well, Beckford Norton is a fast break waiting to happen, isn't she? Doesn't matter where the situation. When she got the ball, there was probably 8 players ahead of her, and she still beat them all to the rim.
With the ball in her hand, and they're running without one.
It's just the pressure that you can put on a defense with that raw pace. And she just about makes both free throws.
Brings it back to a 3-point game. Just over 90 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Is Demange. Knocked away, wanting a whistle, doesn't get one. Gives Oaklands a chance to run again. Oh, the pass just out of reach of Beckford Norton. And sloppy turnover, really, from Oaklands.
Yeah, unnecessary. I think you know that Shanice Beckford Norton's always going to be playing on the front foot, so she's going to want the ball in front of her so she can run onto it. She's never stationary when she catches the ball.
Demange around the screen, back out to Adams. Demange finds room along the baseline, lays it in off the glass.
Another strong move from her. She's so dangerous because she can shoot the ball from long.
Here's Beckford Norton again, putting pressure on the defense. It's almost the same play, just going to the wing, cut back to the middle, right down the lane.
I mean, if you give her a head of steam, like Taya Adams, she's not ready to guard that. You just can't allow Shanice to get a head of steam at all. And when she's going downhill like that, she's so quick and so hard to start.
It's almost like everybody has to have eyes, particularly the bigs, on where Beckford Norton is.
Well, interesting, because I think so important that that first line of defense gets back in transition and turns and is facing the ball so they can be in help if need be.
Well, it's still a 3-point lead to Caledonia as we take down the last 40 seconds of this opening quarter. Demange runs into a double team. Is there a foul in there? I think there might be on Sarson.
She got away with a little push off at halfway line as well on Beckford Norton. That's what she's talking to the referee about.
Well, it's actually Beckford Norton whose number's been shown. It's for that little slap down at the end of it. Well, Caledonia have got to the line well in the first quarter. They're only shooting 50% so far, though. Demange makes them both. Little full court pressure here. Dealt with comfortably. Ashby open in the corner, rattles out. Foul on the rebound, is it? Or did he step out of bounds? Stepped out of bounds.
It's the first time I think Ashby's found herself that open. She just needs to relax a little bit. She is going to get those. I think when you feel a lot of defensive pressure and eyes on you to begin a game, sometimes when you find yourself open in that moment, you can rush it a little bit.
Well, shot clock is off, so Caledonia trying to take it down to the buzzer. Harris gets the ball, gets it away, but misses the layup, and that will do it for a relatively tight first quarter. But it's Coach Handy who's applauding because her team lead this one by 5. Oakland's 14, Caledonia 19, and Chantel will be super happy with that.
Yeah, I think so, because I think one of the things that she might want to tighten up is just the transition defense. I think at moments in that first quarter, it didn't feel like Oakland's were down because of the speed and the pace at which the whole team was running in offensive transition. So I think if there's something that she's going to focus on, it will be that defensively.
Well, we can get an update from Azania. I think she's got one of your friends on the baseline.
Here with the new mascot, Swish. Let's see your name. Hey, are you having a good time today? And would you say your jump shot is that good to be called Swish? He's got the threes. I love it. And who do you think is going to win today? Caledonia Gladiators? Yeah, not Oakland Wolves. You're not a dog. You're not a wolf. Well, lovely. I'm so glad to see you. Have a fun day today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Azania.
Thanks,
that's a tough gig. You're interviewing a mascot who can't talk. She did a great job there.
I was thinking exactly this. Only Azania could do that. That was phenomenal.
Well, speaking of phenomenal, in that first quarter, McRae showing exactly what she brings to the game here today.
Yeah, I think so. And I think for Oakland's as a team, just really nice to have somebody take that moment of when the ball goes up, how are we going to get a few scores on the board? And she's just stepped up for the team and allowed them to settle into this historic moment.
Well, it is that thing. Everybody coming in is going, well, Oakland's are undefeated and, you know, they should be the favorites in all of that. That itself brings a little bit of pressure, and it is a historic moment for the club in their first major final, which brings an extra little bit of pressure. You played in a number of finals. You'd have been on both sides of the overdog-underdog thing. Which one did you prefer?
I think in the majority of the finals, we actually weren't the underdog. We just ended up losing. But
so you preferred being the underdog?
Yeah,
you preferred whichever one you wanted. That was
exactly that. But in all honesty, there's pressures on both. So it doesn't really matter. I think at the end of the day, you just have to go out and play your game.
Well, we played 10 minutes of it, and we're underway with the second. So they should be feeling comfortable now. Nice attack, but overcooked finger roll from Demonge. And here comes Albiero in transition. Nice crossover to get to the basket. And the foul is called on Byrne.
And in the studio, when we're talking about how exciting Oakland's can be, this is what it looks like. We're off and running. She brings it down, and Demonge just relaxes for a second, and Albiero takes advantage of it. They've got a lot of guards that can get into the key and do exciting things in and around the rim.
The other thing about it is they're good and they know they're good as well, so they play like that.
Right. You can see there's not one of these players has stepped onto the floor today without confidence, and they know what they can bring to the team, and they're doing that. And I think that's why the team, both of these teams, are so successful, because they are diverse in what each player brings to the table. Quite balanced teams on both sides, but they all take their roles and responsibilities, and they make sure that they play them as hard as they can.
Monster screen from Harris, by the way. Late shot clock again for Caledonia. And there's going to be, again, an end of shot clock foul battle call for it. That's one of them where it's like, just stay in front if you can.
She's so smart, though.
Yeah.
She, you know, she really, if there is sort of a stereotypical French sort of point guard, she is that. She's very, very smart. Quite wiry. She can get through small gaps. She reads the game so well.
Well, got through a gap to draw a foul there just when the team needed it. Here she is again, trying to find some room. Defender on the floor. Ball batted about. Eventually, Oakland's come up with it. Albiero to McRae. Crowded out this time.
Much better, I think, from Caledonia there in transition.
There's going to be a pull foul there on De Silva as Harris was trying to post up.
And again, just the foul choices, I think, from Oakland's, because from where Demonche was passing the ball into the post, that's not a good angle. There wasn't a lot of float on it either. It would have gone out of bounds. So Oakland's just need to be careful with the kinds of fouls they're giving away. I think they're already on 2 team fouls here within the first minute.
De Silva on 2 personal fouls. So to both to only Adams for Caledonia at that mark. Demonge fires up the triple, front iron. De Silva with the rebound. Here's McRae down on the low block to the fall away. Tough shot, leaves it short, knocked away. And Caledonia are able to run. Rob working with Brown on the screen. Circles back out. It's into Kirsty Brown, has the size advantage here. And, ooh, a slap away at the ball there by Beckford Norton. You've got to be careful with stuff like that. The referee could interpret that as visual dissent.
Yeah, she's frustrated, I think, because I think the team feels like they're getting blown up for a lot of fouls, but see, I think that was what she was not happy about, the forearm in the chest.
I think she's very lucky there not to get a technical foul for that.
Yeah.
But whether you agree with the call or not, you can't take the risk in a big game like that of getting yourself in foul trouble on the basis of a reaction.
Yeah, and I think as well, for me anyway, if I'm playing against someone that has shown that, it kind of gives you an edge over them, and you think, they're getting frustrated, they're getting wound up.
You knew a technical or two in your playing days, didn't you?
Yeah, probs. I probably would have done that,
yeah.
to be fair.
Here's Beckford Norton open in the corner. You'd have probably done that as well, shoot an open 3, but it doesn't go.
But it would have gone in.
It would have gone in, obviously.
Thank you. But I think it's interesting, though, because I think certain players like Shani, she can be frustrated, and that actually helps her game.
Yeah. Oh, she's got one there off the ball, banging into Harris. And that's 2 quick fouls on Shanice Beckford-Norton. And I think she's going to have to come out of the game with Sarson returning.
Yeah, motion's just running a little high. I mean, she came out so explosive, didn't she? And really attacking the rim. Did a great job, so just needs to take a minute, gather herself.
Well, that is 3 players on 2 fouls, so just a little something for Coach Ryan to deal with. Brown open for 3, goes chasing after it. And Oakland's able to come away with it with Sarsons. Sarsons is fouled, and she will go to the line. 1 or 2 Oaklands fans giving a bit of ironic applause at the end of that one.
I think Rafferty as well, they did such a good job of sealing inside and clearing the space for Sarson. The lane just opened up for her.
Well, Beth Sarson, the all-time leading scorer in Oakland's history and games played. There's not too many categories that she isn't the all-time leader in for Oakland's. If she isn't, it's probably Lizzie Harrison who holds the record.
Yeah.
Between those two, they've got basically everything wrapped up.
It's really, I think Zania talked about it, but I think it's great for a franchise to have a player who is from that place and is really passionate about the club. And often you see those teams are really successful when they have a couple of those British players that stick around and develop.
Particularly, that's what the MO is. As Sarsen fires up the 3 off the mark, is to bring them through from the age of 16, develop them through.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think especially at Oakland, that's how they started their journey, was, you know, as a DICE academy. And they still are a DICE academy, but they often spent time at the bottom of the table because they had, you know, invested so much in those younger players. And it's really nice to see now those younger players, so Beth, for example, out here still playing for them. And she's a little bit more mature.
28 now, so she's been with the club. Well, she had a couple of trips away in Essex and Leicester.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking, most of her career has been at Oaklands. Just a discussion between the officials as to whose possession this is going to be. Well, it's going to stay with Oaklands. They've only got 4.9 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Sarsen's along the baseline, blocked by Harris. Still time, shots away, but it doesn't go. Rob with the rebound.
Great box out by Kirsty Brown, and Rob just come in and collect that.
It's almost like you should get an assist for a box out like that. A rebound assist.
For sure.
Adams stepping through. Oh, what a tough finish that is.
Really tough finish, Taya Adams.
Oh, McRae spins but loses the ball and ends up batting it out of bounds. That'll go back to Caledonia. What a move this was from Taya Adams. Stepping underneath, still had plenty of work to do on the scoop.
Great defense from Rafferty as well. She did everything she was supposed to do, but just better offense from Taya Adams.
Well, timeout is called, and I guess from an Oakland's point of view, the worry is they've only got 16 points in 14 minutes. They're shooting in the 20s from the floor. They've got to find a way of they're getting good looks. They've got to find a way of knocking them down, really.
Yeah, and interesting because when they first came out, especially with McRae, they were knocking down their shots. They just had a little spell where they've dried up, and I'm sure Coach Ryan just talking it over with them. It's not that they're not getting the shots that they want to get. You know, we just saw Sarsen, wide open 3. Ashby's had one in the corner as well. We just got to take their time and knock them down.
Well, that's an interesting point you make there. If you take McRae's shots out, they are shooting 2 for 14 from the floor. It's tough to win a game like that.
Yeah, and you can't. I think the strength for their team is that every player shows up for them every single night and they share the scoring load. They have 3 players with 10+ points per game, and then they have 5 other players that are just under that 10 points per game mark. So if Oaklands are going to win today, they need everybody to be able to do it, and it is a comfort to have and a bit of a cushion to have McRae playing well, but the others have got to start to step up as well.
I suppose the one thing on that is sometimes you just need an outright bucket getter, you know what I mean? In a situation like this, who do we throw it to? You know, we need something. Ashley Harris, one of your former teammates, give it to Ash, we need a score.
Yeah.
Here's Lewis in the corner, doesn't go.
I think especially in showpiece finals, I think you have to have those players that can just ball. Take the pressure off everybody else.
Beckford Norton got a little piece of that Rob shot and it fell short. And Beckford Norton knocked to the floor and picked back up pretty quickly by Harris as well. But interesting roll of the dice here from Coach Lee Ryan, putting Beckford Norton back in the game on 2 fouls, given her aggressiveness, if you like, defensively, but he's got a lot of faith in her.
Yeah, and I think right now, if you look at the score, you do have to take a bit of a risk. I think it's the right time for him to do that. I think it's a smart move. And you have to trust her, you know. She's been in this position so many times before.
Yeah, as we said, she's won the last 12 titles on off a tough bucket again from McRae.
She is feeling it today.
Pass a little behind Rob, but able to pull it in. Rob driving into traffic, nowhere to go, and turns the ball over. Sarsen out in front, but the pass is a little bit too far out of her reach.
Just a little bit stagnant from Caledonia there. I think they were trying to get it inside, and the pass wasn't there, but then the weak side had stopped moving, so eating into the shot clock again for them.
Well, the other thing is McGee Pleasant on the switch had done a really good job of using her size to make it difficult for Rob to pass.
Yeah, she fronted the post. She did a great job.
Beth Sarsen called for the foul, so it'll be 2 free throws here. First one is good. Caledonia fans left early this morning to make it all the way down the M6. I know it was snowing when the team left yesterday morning. So it's a long day for them, but if they can go home with a trophy, boy, it'd be a nice trip back.
These are the first 2 points for Kat Tudor. Normally, she's the first in the team in points per game with 12, but
McGee Pleasant along the baseline, spinning it off the glass, up and under. Brown. Here's Lewis on the handoff. Said it a lot today. Late shot clock for Caledonia. Out to Rob, has to heave up the three. And McRae with the rebound. Oh, McRae's lost the dribble. And Caledonia get the ball back.
it's a shame because that was such a great defensive possession, especially from McRae. Just battling inside there with Byrne. I think Oaklands are doing a really good job of just slowing down the actions of Caledonia. There's a lot of actions in their offenses, and they're just not able to run through them as smoothly right now.
Lewis, back to Rob. That's a good shot for Hannah Robb. Nice look at it. Brown with the offensive rebound. And a good putback. Beckford Norton crowded her out this time. Sarsen, corner three is good. All strings for Beth Sarsen.
It's really great to see that go down for her. She's a knockdown three-point shooter. She shoots at 33% on the season.
Well, that is one of the categories that she's still behind Lizzie Harrison for. Not for long, though. She'll overtake her this year in terms of three-pointers made. And she's got one here in the final as well. And nothing better than seeing you got that wide open shot, splash it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, especially for Beth, I think sometimes when you've been at a club since you were so young, the moment can feel bigger maybe than for those that are around you. And so that'll be definitely a confidence boost for her.
Well, I guess there was nobody around Nottingham longer than you were, so I guess that was the thing when you reached the finals. It kind of meant a bit more, given you grew up around the club, your family was the club, basically.
Yeah, and I think Coach and I used to talk about that, and Coach Dave Greenaway, I think he understood that I was just so hungry to win for the club, and it was great to have a coach like that because he's a player's coach. He understood my mentality, and I think we were really lucky, though, that we were surrounded by import players and by British players who wanted to win just the same.
Well, Oaklands have cut this back down to 5, a chance to make it a one-shot game. Rafferty forced back out. 5 on the shot clock. Puts her in a terribly awkward spot. McRae's going to have to heave. Well, she doesn't get it away in time. That'll be a shot clock violation.
Great defense from McGarrigan, and she's just so reliable. You know, in that moment there, she could have fouled. She could have put too much pressure on McRae. McRae's been shooting the ball well, but she's just so disciplined, and I think that's something that is a big thing in Erin McGarrigan's game. Disciplined and efficient.
Well, McGarrigan won this competition in 17-18 with Leicester. This is actually Erin McGarrigan's 4th major final in her British basketball career. A lot of experience. Actually played in the game you played in, didn't she? The Caledonia Pride. Was she not on that team as well?
2018.
18, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was. Her and Robin. I think Robin Lewis
Robin
was as well.
definitely on that team.
Yeah, we won that one.
Well, you did win that game. We saw the highlights of it earlier. We knew that. 2:08 to go. Look, grainy. Looked like a long time ago back you were playing.
Okay.
2:08 to go. I'm just winding you up. It's a 5-point Caledonia lead. I always think in situations like this, tight-ish game, 2 minutes to go, you can really make a difference by winning this next 2 minutes. I always think just put 5 points either way. Oakland's win this last 2 minutes by 5, the game is tied. Caledonia win this last 2 minutes by 5, it's a 10-point game. That is 2 totally different halftime team talks.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a smart time to take the timeout. You know, a 2-minute run here could be valuable for either team. It's neck and neck. It's 9 points apiece here in the second quarter. So it feels a little bit more like Oakland is on the verge of a bit of a run. So we'll see what happens when they come back out. But a really important last 2 minutes of the half.
Well, Lee Ryan trying to get them to go from the verge to the full-on run. Those Oaklands fans were doing bongo cam on the big screen, by the way. That's why they were doing the little fake slapping of bongos. 2 teams making their way back out onto court. We're just wondering where the ball was. It's right in front of us. It's possession in the backcourt. McGee Pleasant into a crowd, kicked the ball away, threw them with the change of defense there. Caledonia get the ball back, and that frustrates the heck out of a coach. Call a timeout, you draw up a lovely play on the board.
But I think smart from the other coach to go out and put that defense out there and not allow them to get into whatever they had drawn up on the board.
Oh, that's too much of a pass to be hung on to. McGee Pleasant, nice pass down to Rafferty underneath. Rafferty throws it to herself, and did she get an assist for that as well?
Or a rebound, I'm not sure.
She got 2 stats, we'll work out what they were, but definitely 2 points. Rafferty having to play the defense here. Back out to Tudor. There's a real battle going on between the bigs inside. Adams fires it up for 2.
Yeah, I think there's been such a battle inside with the bigs. And right now, I think Caledonia really could do with Byrne starting to show up a little bit here. She's been quiet.
Tough shot. And no chance of a offensive rebound either. Byrne hands off to Adams. Adams kicks it out. Adams thinking about the 3, turns it down, tries the reverse layup instead. McGee Pleasant with the rebound. Here's Sarson. Sarson pushing hard, kicked out. Albiero, long 2, just towed the line, but it doesn't go.
That was a 4-on-2, such an opportunity there They got a wide open shot, but you just wonder, could they have got something more inside?
Oh, a technical foul. Coach Lee Ryan must have said a little bit too much. And he's been assessed a technical foul for his protestations. I must confess, I followed the ball, didn't quite see what he was saying, but I saw the end of it. He looked like somebody had got his money's worth out of that.
I think he was trying to protect Beth Sarson. I didn't see the contact either, but she went flying into the pad on the back of the basket.
So Erin McGarrigan at the free throw line for the technical shot.
She's an 82% free throw shooter as well.
That's why you get to shoot the technical free throws. Timeout called. Is 24.6 seconds remaining in this quarter. There's 17 on the shot clock. So there's probably going to be just about enough time for Oaklands to get the ball back. But Coach Handy will be saying, score and a stop here. Score and a stop, we're in a great spot.
Yeah, I think so. I think after the timeout a couple of minutes ago, it's been a little bit stagnant, but they've extended their lead a little bit, and now it's just about trying to extend again. You've got one possession left, so.
Well, Adams and McRae leading the way for their teams respectively with very efficient 9 and 8 points.
There's not too much that separates the teams, to be honest, at all, but it is the shooting percentages that stand off the page. 61% from 2 for Caledonia, just 42% for Oaklands. And I think Caledonia have done a really good job of slowing down Oaklands as well. Just one fast break point recorded here on the stats.
Well, sometimes it's a simple game. If you put the ball in the basket more than the other team does.
Yeah.
Judah to inbound. Pass asked a lot there of the Manger, which you can say, oh, that's a foul by McGarrigan, pushing Beckford Norton to the floor. And that's a frustration for Caledonia there, because now it gives Oaklands a chance to make it a one-possession game at the buzzer.
Yeah, she definitely extended both hands. Great defense. She's such a pest, Shanice Beckford Norton, defensively.
I would imagine you'd want to push her over, given the pressure she puts on you.
Yeah.
Down to 6. Ashby has it. Going towards Rafferty. Tudor got a hand on that. 2.3 left in the first half.
No timeout. He hasn't got a timeout.
It's an awkward spot to inbound it from as well. Beckford Norton coming back towards the ball. It's thrown underneath, and that will do it. We're at the half here in Birmingham. It's Chantel Handy and the Caledonia Gladiators who lead the Oakland Wolves by 31 points to 25. And you have to say they've been good value for this lead in the first half.
Yeah, I think it's the game that we expected to see. I think Oaklands have really tried to push the pace, and like we said, Caledonia have done a good job of making them play in the half court, but we knew it was going to be a close game. We knew it was going to be back and forth, and I think we're in for an exciting second half.
We certainly have. The two coaches will have to earn their corn at half-time to draw up the game plan for the win. Let's see if we can get some insight now. Chantel Handy is with Azania.
Just here with head coach Handy. Up 8, actually. What was the biggest challenge so far in that first half?
They're letting us play with aggressiveness, right? So we're trying to get downhill, go to the rim. The girls are doing a really good job, but we know it's going to be a battle. We've still got 20 more minutes of this game left.
And 18 points in the paint. Was that something that you guys wanted to really work on in this game?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been something we've been trying to improve every single game, trying to get more points in the paint. we know we've got shooting ability outside, so trying to get a bit more strength inside to open up our shooters is something that we've been working on.
And some adjustments ready for the second half.
I think just keep being aggressive going to the rim, and we'll tweak a few things, but I'm not going to tell you here, am I?
Thank you, good luck.
Yeah, better not. They might be live streaming it in the locker room of Oakland. Here's the numbers at half-time, and you touched on it, just slightly better field goal shooting. They've also got to the line a little bit more. It's small margins in a game like this.
Yeah, it is really small margins, and I think, you know, when both teams are playing well, I think those shooting percentages is what's going to set you apart. So Caledonia just getting into their rhythm a little bit earlier than Oakland.
Both teams doing a good job of securing not too many offensive rebounds, not too many second chance points. It's those little things you talked about. Fast break points, there's only one in the game, so that means your transition defense has been good as well. Coaches really preach that in a big game like this. Take away the easy stuff.
Yeah, what you got to do is make the other team play their second best game. So if you let a team play their A game, you're going to be in for a tough night. And I think that is what Caledonia do well. They take away the other teams, what they do best, and they make them play sort of their second string game. And it just makes everything so chippy and makes every score so difficult for the other team.
And we've seen in the highlights, Caledonia getting to the rim. It's something Chantel just talked about with Azania there, about their ability to get to the basket and just make it a little bit easier if they can. And it might free up some of their outside shooting along the way. And they've got a lot of great shooters. Well, tight game at the half. Let's throw it back over to the studio and Drew.
Appreciate that, Dan. See, as we reflect on the first half, the Oakland Wolves pounding the Gladiators defensively. It feels like they have the tempo, but then you look at the scoreboard and it's the Gladiators that's up.
Yeah, I think the Gladiators are doing a lovely job at attacking the rim. They're getting that 18 points I talked about in the paint. They're also just setting the pace. I do like how Oaklands are getting out. I talked about their transition, but they're not finishing, and maybe this is where the bright lights of concentration, taking your time, making sure you're finishing the basket.
Well, speaking of bright lights, we talked about the environment early. Only one three-pointer made in this game. Yeah. We're on pace for a 60-point game. How much has that affected the teams?
I definitely think it's, you know, it's really difficult because you only get a practice last night, so you don't get this kind of practice in shooting. Beth was the one that hit the shot, which was great, and you just adjust. If the shot isn't falling, you get to the rim.
But one person who has stand out, Danielle McGee.
Yeah, McGee, for me, just that nice up and under, the reverse, made it look pretty, didn't she? But she's being aggressive, and that's what I like. She needs to be strong, and she needs to have, the defense has got to suck to her, so she's got to keep being aggressive in this second half.
Well, we appreciate your analysis, and it's time for a short break and catch up with the coaches, Lee Ryan and Chantel Handy. But first, as you may have seen, the Super League Basketball has partnered with BIFA, the UK's leading sustainable waste management company, who are the official sustainability partner of the league. Let's take a look at our halftime show.
A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Basketball is the second most played sport by young people in the UK. And this is a great opportunity for us to engage the younger generation in being more sustainable, recycling more, and ultimately reducing waste and protecting the environment.
Away in the trash can and throwing this away in the trash can, you're doing it in the right place. You're composting, you're recycling, you're reducing, reusing. It's just super important to learn that from a young age because you carry that into your adult life.
I majored in marine science and I minored in sustainability. So it's actually really exciting to see us partner with a company who is really invested in sustainability.
I think it's fantastic. BIFA is such a quality name in the waste and sustainability sector. We're a quality name in our sector. They're very much about community. We're very much about community. So I think it's going to be a great partnership.
Well, I was a footballer from the very beginning, right? So I played football since I was like knee-high. My dad was a football player. And then it was probably when I was about 12 or 13, started to grow a little bit more, and he'd played basketball too. So he's like, why don't you just pick a ball up, go play? And then I went to play for this local league team, the boys team. And they were like, you need to try and get onto a women's team. So then I went to play at Tyne & Wear with Harry, and that was my first really introduction into the game, and I absolutely loved it. And from then on, it kind of just took off. I had England tryouts for football one weekend, and I had England tryouts for basketball, so I had to choose. And ever since then, I've gone down the basketball route. I think I was just a kid that was excited to play a sport, and I'd always played sport. I'd picked up everything in high school, and I think for me, and I think sometimes you don't take time to reflect on what you've actually done. And I think after playing, I had a moment of just realizing where I'd been, what I'd experienced, how I'd had memories with different players all over the world and played against some of the best players in the world. And I think everyone loves the idea of playing overseas and playing in Europe, and everyone sees like the great things about it, but it's hard. You're by yourself a lot of the time, you sacrifice time with family and friends, and I think just the resilience of trying to do that from a day in, day out, and I did it for about, 12 years? I always knew coaching was something that I might want to step into. I think the good thing about Caledonia is they give me that balance of playing and then being part of the coaching staff to start, and then obviously move me into that head position, which has been key. It's different, right? Different pressures, it's different management. Like, as a player, you look after yourself, and that's it. Your job is to look after yourself, make sure you recover, make sure you sleep, make sure you eat. As a coach, you got to look after 12 players, and then you've got other things like management and coaching staff and things to develop. So it's very different. I think just thinking that I've got to look after myself and I've got to go perform is very different to thinking I've got to now prep 12 players, get people ready, also prep myself, decisions I'm making, adjustments in the game, and it's just so different, but you enjoy the process, right? You're in the final. Like, I think I sit there and tell players go and enjoy it, but I've got to enjoy it too, right? No, we're looking forward to it.
Oaklands as a basketball program started in 2009. Michael Ball came up here. We used to work together down at Solent, and he came up here to start a program with the view of us having a DAZN partnership, which was a governing body's sort of incentive to get junior players come through at 16 to 19 into the British basketball pathway, and give them an elite environment to develop. Our first year competing in the Women's Pro League was in 2016-17, so we kind of went into it a little bit open-minded to see, can we even survive in that environment? Does it work having an academy pure-based team in a pro league? How big is the gap? And yes, it was a significant gap, but we managed to compete, and I think that's what gave the rest of the league a bit of leeway with us, is that they saw that we were competitive in every single game, and then from there, we built the vision about how do we transform from just pure academy into an elite academy environment, which requires professional players. In most of the years in which we've been in the pro league, we've been around the bottom of the league. Goal setting for us was always about, can we make playoffs? Can we hit that sort of 7th, 8th spot in the league each time? And when you're down there, you kind of build a reputation of being a team that's most likely going to lose more games than you're going to win. So as we've started to evolve and as we've picked up the level of our players and the level of our program, it's been tough. It's been difficult to get the rest of the world, the rest of the environment, the rest of the league to be able to recognize us as a serious program. So I guess those first few years were about shaping the program, and then once we hit that senior team, it's just been growth. We recruited well, we had great resource, we had a new principal come into the college, Andrew Slade, who has transformed things and really invested in academies program across the sports. So we knew we were going to take a step forward this year. We didn't think it was going to be quite as significant quite as quickly. Based on where we've been before as a program, we talked at the preseason with all the players, said about wanting to build the community. It was a big part of our focus this year, but the second one was become a winning program, and we said already we've done that. So a trophy is just that cherry on the top.
rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League basketball. A new dawn is here.
And welcome back to Utilita Arena, where the Caledonia Gladiators held a slam 31-25 lead in the Betty Cadona Trophy Final. And we have the chairman of the Women's League, Jim Saker, with us today. Welcome. Firstly, what's your initial thoughts on the matchup so far?
Fantastic. Competitive game, big crowd, good standard of play. Could be shooting a few more threes, but you know, on the whole, it's going really well, and it's a real change from what's happened maybe in the last couple of seasons where it's been one team dominating. So it's a really exciting time.
And for me, the women's game, especially in this country, is growing tremendously. How important is a stage like the trophy for women's basketball?
It's massive for us because you've got the big crowd, the TV coverage, and it gives that level of exposure which isn't happening on a week-to-week basis. So big events like this are really important for the growth of this league and how it develops going forward.
And speaking of that, how do the women's game use this as leverage to continue to move forward and grow the game?
Oh, it just gives the collateral, it gives us the media exposure, which we refer to. It gives people an eyeball about what's actually going on, the standard of play, the excitement, and it just gives us that lift, which allows people to be more interested in it and can build on from there.
Well, finally, I got to put you on the spot. The Gladiators got a 6-point lead. Oakland's came in as the favorite. Who are you going as the winners?
At the moment, if Shanice Beckman gets a bit more involved on court, you can never write out Oakland. But at the moment, the Gladiators are doing well, getting a lot of stuff in the paint, extra points, that sort of stuff. So that's good.
That's right, Shanice.
Staying in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a chairman.
That's my job.
Very PC answer there. Well, we appreciate your time, Jim Saker, the chairman of the Women's Super League Basketball. But we're going to head things back over to our comms team, Daniel Rowledge and Siobhan Pryor.
Thank you very much, Drew. Interesting analysis there from Jimmy. Did touch on the three-point shooting. 1 for 17 combined in the first half. Both teams will want that to rise. The other thing I noticed sat here courtside at halftime is Oakland's didn't come back out of the locker room until 3.5 minutes to go. So that means they only got 2 minutes worth of warm-up. Caledonia are out a long way before, so that gives the sense that Coach Lee Ryan, there was a lot he wanted to talk to his team about.
Yeah, and I think a lot of tweaks maybe that he wanted to make. Our chairman actually had some really good insights, and one of the things I think for Oakland's, he talked about points in the paint, but for Oakland's, they only had 4 points in the paint, so they're gonna need some of their forwards, some of their bigs, McGee, Pleasant, and Rafferty to start stepping up and helping McRae a little bit. McGee Pleasant right now, she's only taken 4 shots. She averages 9.2 points per game, and Rafferty the same, only 3 shots. So maybe we might start to see the Oaklands Wolves trying to get the ball inside a little bit more, because let's face it, their fast break points are low, and Caledonia are making them play in the half court, so maybe trying to exploit the middle might help them.
Because the other thing is, points in the paint's not always the big back to the basket, jumping out the old jump hook like it's 1987. It's also about the wings attacking the rim.
It is, but I think you have to get the ball in and out to create that space, move the ball, get the ball into the post, kick it out, reverse the ball, and then open up those lanes for the guards to drive in. And I think the defensive scheme for Caledonia is, you know, they're running the scheme so well, they're sticking to their game plan. So I think getting it inside can just open up things a little bit.
Ashby to inbound. We're underway in the second half here in the Betty Cadona Trophy. Super League basketball action from the Utilita Arena in Birmingham. Two teams who've never won a major trophy. One of them's going to get their hands on it today. It's Oakland's with the opening possession. De Silva has it poked away by Brown. It'll stay with the Wolves.
I think as well, something we didn't really talk about, but De Silva sat for a long period of time in that first half on those 2 fouls, and she normally plays 20 minutes a game for them, so I'm not sure we'll see her go off the court much more from here.
6 minutes in the first half. Good offensive rebound. We talked at halftime about there hadn't been much offensive rebound. There hadn't been much second chance points. That's 2 offensive rebounds on the first play for the Wolves.
Yeah, and in big games like this, it is those little plays, but they're massive, the extra effort plays.
Particularly low scoring as they get a chance to get points off turnovers. Ashby, whatever he said at halftime, Coach Ryan, seems to have had the impact on his team. And I'm just wondering if Coach Handy might go to an early timeout here.
Such a tough one, isn't it, in the second half? You want to save them until the end of the game, especially if it's going to be a close one. She's just got to trust the preparation that they've put in and that the players can stick to the game plan.
Harris out to Rob. Looking back for Harris again. It's another turnover. And Ashby running it back. Oh, just a miscommunication there between Ashby and Hierro. 9 turnovers apiece, but the worrying thing for Caledonia is that they've turned it over on the first couple of plays here. They haven't got a shot up.
Yeah, and I think kind of nothing really has looked to be moving for the offense for Caledonia in the first few possessions.
Turned over again. Javiera driving through, kicked out to the corner 3. Harris with the defensive rebound. It's thrown out in front of Rob. McRae is chasing back, won't get there. Rob will lay it in. 2 much needed points for Caledonia.
Yeah, they needed that. I think the difference with the Caledonia offense right now, it looks like they're just going off of single action, where you saw in the first half there was multiple actions all over the floor. Not happening for them right now.
McRae, 5 on the shot clock. Needs to go up here. And that doesn't hit the rim, so that will be a shot clock violation. Piero. I don't know if the shot was tipped, but either way, it fell a long way short.
Yeah, it looked like Demonja got a hand on it or a fingernail on it.
Here's Adams. Demonja with the crossover right down the lane, taking it to the heart of the defense, not quite. I think Brown might have committed a foul on the rebound there.
She's got such an ability, Demonja, to get into the lane. And then a decision-making in there is usually pretty good. That time, just coming up short on the little scoop finish.
Beckford Norton into the game, calling the play. Ashby, space for 3, got it! Sam Ashby's first 3 of the game. And when the chairman says he wants to see more 3s, you hit 3s.
Yep, she heard them. She's doing what she's told.
Big screen from Brown. Adams. Back out to Harris. That was the right idea, but Brown just couldn't quite reach it. And again, there's no mismatch when Beckford Norton's in the low block. She might be giving up 8 inches or whatever it is, but for effort and aggression, she's right there.
Yeah, she is, but I think the decision to send a bounce pass in that moment, you know, you've got the height advantage, just send it up, you know, let the post player go up and grab it.
Well, it's been a long time since Caledonia were in front, but they are now. And a chance for a bonus free throw as well. What a start to the second half for the Wolves.
Yeah, 6-2 start for Oakland. And, you know, it's been their big players that have stepped up. Ashby had been quiet. She knocks down the 3. I mean, McRae has not been quiet. She's been there from the start. But a great entry pass from Shanice Beckford Norton to lead to that score as well.
Can't convert the free throw. I have a theory it's harder to shoot free throws at that end of the floor. I have no evidence for it, but I have a theory. Here's Harris.
I heard the rim was 2 feet taller, no?
No, I think it's sight lines, honestly. I think it's the bowl. Good hands to knock that loose by Tudor, but it will remain a Wolves ball from the side. 15 on the shot clock. They are in front. They led briefly early on, but only by 2. So a chance for their biggest lead of the game if they can get a bucket here. Beckford Norton drives. That came off her last. Oh, no, it came off. It's going to stay with Oakland. I don't know whether did Tudor touch it on the way out. It looked to me like it came off Beckford Norton at first, but it'll be an end-line ball with 2.7 on the shot clock.
Yeah, it looked like it came off her right hand, but it's a difficult angle here to see.
McGee Pleasant needs to get it away. Did she beat the buzzer? No. Wave it off. Shot clock violation. We're right behind the official, referee Hertz, who made that call and could see the light come on with the ball still in the hand. It was a good call.
Yeah, usually I always got taught for every second you've got 1 dribble, so she maybe just took a little bit too much time to get her shot up.
Just wonder if they might have lost a tick or 2 off the clock. And referee Heron over there to administer it. And they did put 2 more seconds back on to the game clock. De Silva jumping out, getting called for the block. That's going to be her 3rd foul.
Caledonia taking a lot of their offense is in the middle of the floor here. Maybe they need to look to get the ball a little wider to the wings. Allow that reversal and see some of that weak side action that was in the first half.
A little confusion here from Caledonia. Adams short on the 3. Beckford Norton comes up with the loose ball. Beckford Norton right down the lane, can't convert. Harris with the rebound. Monja's open in the corner, fakes the 3 and got bumped by McRae on the way past.
So smart, and I'm not sure we saw it, but when she was running, it's something that you teach junior players, but her left arm was so high up in the air, making sure that the person with the ball knew that she was available. She's not running in silence. She wants the ball, and she's making herself available for them to advance it quickly.
Coach Pryor there.
Yeah, listen, kids.
There we go. Make sure at the Wildcats Academy you're paying attention. Oh, beautiful move along the baseline. How about that for a finish?
Come on, Shay. She's so exciting. I kind of had a feeling that she was going to do this today. She's ready for the big stage. She's been on it before.
She's embracing it for sure. McGee Pleasant. McRae, nice pass. McGee Pleasant almost spun one in on the cut to the rim. She will go to the line for 2. Well, have a look at this. Just a little pump fake, then realized had to go under the basket to take the defender out and spin it in off the glass.
Well, I was just going to say, like, usually once you picked it up and you've taken your first step, you're not really able to think about too much more, but she just shows such creativity and such maturity to be 23 years old, to be able to take her time even on the finish, getting bumped and then changing direction on the finish, making a different choice of which hand she was going to go up with. Such a smart player.
McGee Pleasant adding to my conspiracy theories about free throws at that end of the floor. Nice hands from McRae to knock it loose. Adams. Shot clock at 5. Drives to the rim, nice finish.
Yeah, the help just a little bit too late. The defender got caught on the ball screen.
Nice pass. Oh, thought to close the layup though.
Not going to get a wider open option than that today, I don't think.
You just wonder whether the limited minutes of the first half with those early fouls maybe out of rhythm.
Good box out by Fotu.
Rafferty underneath loses the ball. Byrne pulls it away. It's a hell ball, so possession arrow says it'll be Caledonia.
You can feel it getting more chippy and more physical inside. It's exactly what you want to see in a final. These players have come to play. They've come to win.
Does it favor either team, do you think, if it goes down that path?
It's so difficult because I think Caledonia have composure in the way that they run their sets. But I think Oaklands are so explosive and can be so exciting. So if Caledonia put too much pressure on or they're too physical, it's really easy for Oaklands to exploit it.
Rob stops and uses momentum to find some space.
Yeah, smart, composed play.
Beckford Norton drives, trying to spin it off the glass. Has a stare at the referee because there's no whistle coming our way. Lewis. Rob. Lewis in the corner. Batted away. Chance for Oaklands to run. No, there isn't, because Lewis gets her hands to knock the ball out of bounds.
Great play from Robin Lewis. She didn't hang her head. You know, she sent the errant pass and then gets back and slows the transition down for Oakland.
9 steals to 2. That shows you about the aggression on defense. Sarsen to inbound. Needs some help. McRae comes to the ball. Offensive foul? No, it's on Byrne, is it? Yes, it is.
You'll see that, I think, obviously in Chantel's game plan, but they try and push the ball screen so far away from the three-point line that it makes it so much easier to guard for the guards that are involved in them. You can see Byrne trying
doing it right now.
Yeah.
But Beckford Norton just blows past everybody for the layup. That's the problem. You push it a bit further out, there's more real estate for somebody with the speed of Beckford Norton.
If the guard gets stuck, but really if it's that far out, the guards can just go underneath and meet her on the other side of the screen.
Rob to Harris, blocked from behind, out of bounds, and it will go back to Oaklands.
Baseline possession for the Oaklands Wolves. Sarsen's got us back on the way. Finds Beckford Norton.
Beckford Norton, again, drives into the key, kicks it out. Rafferty, space for the mid-range, in and out. Harris with the rebound.
They need her to get going. She normally gives them 9 points per game.
Just the 2 so far. Here's Byrne. Deep 3. All string, what a shot.
And that's the versatile forward that the new age forward that Drew and Azania were talking about on the top of the show. She can knock it down from deep, but she's also such a problem inside.
Beckford Norton off the back iron, bodies everywhere. Foul is on Rafferty. Well, it's one of them where you think, well, you can stand a step off, but maybe you can't in that situation. Got range all the way out.
Yeah, you know, it'll be something that is definitely on the scouting report. She shoots 36%, second best in the team from 3, and she's 8th in the league as well.
It's just about the same spot, but not quite. Those are her first 2 shots of the game, ignoring the 2 free throws she had in the first half. Beckford Norton again attacking the rim. It's an offensive foul, is it? It's on Beckford Norton for the use of the off arm. She can't believe it. The Wolves bench is up in arms. Can't quite see it clearly from that angle, but Tudor did rock back as if she did.
It depends how far out. I mean, you get taught, right, when you go up at the rim, you go up in a V, your inside hand goes up as well to protect, but maybe it was just too far outside. She tries to clear her out, maybe.
Oh, it's at the end of it, isn't it? It's a bit of a swipe at the end of it. Well, that sent her to the bench on 3 fouls now. Well, Coach Ryan had the body language, the demeanor of somebody that wasn't happy before that foul. Well, whistles or lack thereof. He's going to get even more unhappy now as Caledonia get an and one.
Well, Ariana Harris, she's just got such beautiful footwork and patience.
Yeah.
That is her go-to. Get her the ball on the block and let her go to work. She plays so well off of 2 feet, lots of counter moves. And then she goes up and finishes strong but soft as well with the hands.
I think it's always one of the things that, if you're relatively new to the game, you kind of miss. The footwork is so important. Beckford Norton on 3 fouls sitting down. And Harris certainly has excellent footwork, and we've seen displays of it today. Sarsen drives to the rim. Again, putting pressure. I think that's the thing. You've seen a few whistles go you might not be happy with. Well, you put the pressure on the officials to give you a few calls as well. Take it to the rim.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because that's exactly what Coach Chantal Handy said at half-time. She mentioned that she felt like the referees were letting them play. We were letting them play physical, so we're going to try and get in the lane. And I think, especially for Beth, she's knocked down a 3. Someone trying to run her off of the 3-point line. Long closeout is a perfect closeout for a shooter to attack.
Draws iron on the first. It is another one of the categories that she leads Oakland's history in. Made free throws, and there's another one.
Oh, really? Gosh, she's up there in every single one of the stats, right?
Oh, knocked away. And they've got a turnover here. Caledonia scrambling defensively, get back. The shot clock is off, so they can take it to the buzzer here. 10 steals now for Oakland. Albiero under pressure. Rob with the rebound. Is there enough time? They've got to be really quick. Rob from 3/4 court. I think it's late. It doesn't go anyway. And that will do it for the quarter. It started really well for Oakland, but Caledonia have responded, and they will go into the 4th quarter with a 37-45 lead here in the final. Well, Xenia came over here. I thought she was going to talk to us, but she found somebody much better to have a chat with. Over to you, Z.
I am here with my absolute 2 favorites. Assistant coach for GB, coached me, Vanessa Ellis, and also head coach with Sheffield Hatters. And then my former teammate, Steph Collins with Cardiff Met. Steph, how is just this moment and this platform for women's basketball?
It's huge. I mean, when you get a showcase event like the trophy final, playing in an arena like this in Birmingham with 2 really talented teams, it's just great to see the pace and the physicality out there, and it's just a wonderful watch.
And for you, Ness, how's the game really developed and changed? You've been coaching for a very long time.
Yeah, I just think now there's a higher standard of player, better athletes, the game's more physical, greater skill set, you know, not taking anything away from people of the past, but I think there's more players in each team like that.
Well, thank you. Joined by my 2 favorites and GB legends. Thanks, ladies. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you very much, Xenia. Royalty on the front row there. I mean, some legendary British basketball heroes, really, on that front row. Amazing. Here's the numbers from the ball game, and it's still Caledonia shooting the ball a little bit better. Free throws have evened up in terms of the volume. Rebounds the same. What is going to be the key in this 4th quarter?
I mean, to be honest, I think the key to begin with for Oakland is they have to get a quick start. They need to try and knock chip away at this lead early. I think the first 3 minutes are really, really important for them. But I think if Caledonia can continue to make this a half-court game, it plays right into their hands.
Well, the problem they've got is they're down 8, Oakland's, and their quarter scoring has been 14, 11, and 11. Another 11 or 14 is not going to be enough. They're going to have to pull out a 20-plus quarter. That's knocked away by Brown, who chases it and gets there. Great defensive play. Rob steps into the 3. What a rebound that is from Harris. Harris hands it off, and we have ourselves a double-figure lead. Caledonia with 9.5 minutes to go in the final.
I am just enjoying sitting back and watching her play. She's putting on a clinic, Mathilde Demonge.
And it's stolen away. Brown out in front. Brown will run it back for the easiest score of the game, and suddenly it's a 12-point lead. And is there a timeout? Or did we just lose the ball? I thought Coach Ryan called a timeout. Yes, he did. And this is our big, big timeout here for Oakland's. They need a response. They need it quick.
Yeah, and I think the thing is you have to take that timeout, because I think as a coach, there are certain times when you need to manage the momentum of the game. And unfortunately right now, it's the players from Caledonia that have gained the momentum. Again, from the defensive end, I think, playing into their offense. And nice to see them get out in transition as well. And Kirsty Brown running the lane as a big, doing a great job for Caledonia.
Well, it was Oakland's at the start of the third quarter who forced turnovers and got a couple of early scores. It's Caledonia here at the start of the fourth quarter who are able to get things going. And back to that point I made a moment ago, this layup from Brown has made it a 12-point game. Oakland's only scored 14 in one quarter. They've not scored 12 points in the other 2 quarters. They trail by 12.
Yeah, they do. And I think, again, it's like I said, Caledonia are just doing such a good job of making it a half-court game. And I think Oakland's are able to build, they can score in the half court, but they're able to build that balance of half court and full court when they're running. That's where they are best.
McGee Pleasant. Wolves need a response out of this timeout. Here's Ashby. Foul is called on Tudor, I think grabbing the screen. Byrne and Adams and Lewis all going to return for Caledonia. Beckford Norton. Tough play from Shanice Beckford Norton.
Yeah, like the SLBW chairman said, if you've got a Shanice Beckford Norton on your team, then the game is never lost.
Little change of defense again here. It's just thrown them off. It's Byrne is open. 5 on the shot clock. Lewis. Adams has to shoot. Does she see it? Did she get it away? Didn't hit the rim. So it's a shot clock violation.
I think a good decision just to mix up the defense. Make Caledonia think about what they have to do next. Get them out of the comfort zone that they found themselves in against the man-to-man.
Sarson. Nice running off the ball, and that'll be 2 free throws.
Yeah, great weak side cut from Sam Ashby. And almost a great finish from her as well. Uses her body, protects the ball with the rim, and her body just can't finish, but she gets to the line for 2.
Ashby misses the first.
usually an 87% free throw shooter. I think you've cursed this
not,
rim.
Yeah, it is. I'd say I haven't done any evidence other than watching a lot of finals here. It's my theory. Oh, good defense. Beckford Norton comes away with it. Has Ashby with her. Pass had a bit too much zip on it, but they still have it. They lost battle for a second. And foul is on the pass. Well, don't forget, coming up later, we have the men's trophy final. Newcastle Eagles in the house. They will be taking on the Bristol Flyers. They're getting ready. That wasn't the Newcastle player with the beer in his hand, by the way. I can confirm that.
Pre-game drink.
Pre-game drink.
Pre-game hydration.
Just loosen yourself up a bit.
Never tried it. Works wonders.
McGee for three. Oh, McGee Pleasant with the triple. They needed that.
Big play, and we talked about it at halftime. She needed to step up a little bit more, and she's doing just that right now.
Back to a 7-point game.
Well, how important will this shot be? If Oaklands can find themselves all the way back, it's got them the start of some momentum. Can they build? Beckford Norton round the screen to the mid-range. Knocks it down, big shot, and here come Oaklands.
Shanice Beckford Norton, once again, 12 points personal for her.
Stolen away by Ashby. She'll run it all the way back, and she will lay it in, and suddenly it is down to only 3. Well, they looked in all sorts of problems, down 12 just a couple of minutes ago, but what a response.
And that is why Oaklands are so exciting. They can play at this pace, they can hit big shots. They're a skilled, athletic team, and it's great to watch them put a run together here towards the end of the game. Unbelievable shot from Beckford Norton, off balance. She wanted the foul as well. And just a heads-up play, Sam Ashby doing what she does well. Anything she can do to help her team, she will.
Wow, Shanice Beckford Norton trying to drive her team here to victory. Just 2 minutes ago, they were down 12. They've scored 9 points in the blink of an eye. And at that last time out that Lee Ryan was having, I was saying, well, this team hasn't scored more than 14 points in a quarter, and suddenly you get 9 points like that.
But isn't that why basketball is such a great game? You just never know. Things can change within a blink of an eye, and that's exactly what's happened here. And now we don't know how Caledonia respond to this. A little bit of pressure now put on them. How are they going to respond late in the game in a trophy final when things aren't so comfortable for them?
Well, Chantal would love to see a 9-0 run coming out of her timeout. That's for sure. Can Oaklands maintain the momentum? Yes, they can, because Ashby's stolen it again. Ashby running it back. Rebound doesn't go. Oh, that was a chance.
Well, she was going to go up and dunk that.
She took off like that.
Yeah.
Bump foul by Battle. Is there a technical as well? A technical.
That's not smart. You've got the momentum. Everything's going in your favor. Now you're going to...
Yeah, I think it was Battle must have said something.
And you sent Hannah Robb to the line, who's probably going to knock down these two. And just settles Caledonia again.
2? You're a bit old.
Oh, 1.
2 for a technical. Flashback.
Thank you. 1. Gosh. Apologies.
Well, we've seen that Newcastle are in the house. The Flyers are here too. He had some teammates sat next to him, but enjoying the moment. And they, I think the rest of the team have gone off to the locker room to get ready for our second final of the day. We're a couple hours away from that. But still the business of the Betty Cadona Trophy to be won here. That's a tough pass. And it's going to be a foul underneath on Caledonia.
Aside from the one zone defense that Oakland showed, when they've gone back to man, they're really pressuring the passing lanes, putting a lot of pressure on the ball as well. Just rushing Caledonia a little bit.
Albiero. McGee Pleasant, oh, in and out for 3, but it's tipped down to Battle. Fotu, nice dish off, and a great finish at the end of it from Battle.
And Fotu right now stepping up big, a steal, an offensive rebound and assist all in the last 30 seconds.
It's a 2-point game. It was 12 3 minutes ago. Caledonia hitting a bit of a dry patch. Adams, foul called.
Foul called against number 30, Sam Ashby.
Ashby, the offender.
Does a good job to get into Ashby's chest. Draw the foul.
Well, free throws can be costly at this time of the game. Caledonia, by the way, haven't made a field goal since before that Lee Ryan timeout. And that was the best part of 4 minutes ago. They've got a couple of free throws, but they're being reeled in. McGee Pleasant open for 3, front iron. Foto again, a massive play for her team. Ashby, she looks to get into the key. Nowhere to go. Fotu to the finger roll, lays it in. It's a 1-point game.
He has been absolutely massive for them in the last few possessions.
Well, another one who got a couple of early fouls. Nice drive to the basket, but Adams can't finish. And Oaklands, who were 12 down in this quarter, could take the lead here.
It was Fotu who came up big against Essex. She had 21 points in the semi-final.
Change of pivot foot. Wow, Fotu. This is her first 2 points of the game, but she's had such an impact in the last few minutes.
Massive, massive impact, and we say it all the time, but it is those smaller plays that are the bigger plays. Get your team another chance at a score on an offensive rebound, get a defensive stop.
Rob. Byrne, 6 on the shot clock. Nice drive to the rim from Kat Tudor. They needed that, a field goal at last.
They do. Team's leading scorer. She's been quiet tonight, but coming alive when it matters most.
Speaking of coming alive, both to drive into the floor, passes it off, so it's not a shooting foul.
Foul called against number 9, Hannah Robb. Substitution.
McRae is going to return for the Wolves. Ashby sits down. 4:11 to go here in the trophy final. Oakland's, who spent a long time behind in this contest, trying to cut this down to 1. They're over the limit, Caledonia, so it is 2 free throws on team fouls. Missed them both. And there's a accidental foul, but it's still a foul on Battle. Third personal.
2 big misses.
4 minutes 10 remains in this fourth quarter. Dommage for the Gladiators. Finds first.
4 to play here in Birmingham. Game on the line, trophy on the line. Dommage for 3, got it! What a shot that is!
She is unbelievable. She's been getting to the rim all night. She gets one chance and one of the biggest shots of her career so far, knocks it down from 3.
Doubles the Caledonia lead. McGee Pleasant, tough one. Oh my goodness, knocks that down.
Leaning off 1 foot. The level of skill shown tonight, I think we always knew it was going to be fast and physical. That's something we expect, but it's been such a joy to watch the individual skill of the players.
Rob ran the screen. Kicks it back out. Here she is again, back to back. No, not quite. Oh, it comes over McGee Pleasant to Tudor. Dommage almost with a knockout blow there. Pass is deflected by McRae. Can she beat it to the line? Yes, she can. What a hustle to keep that in. Here comes battle. Block or charge? It's a block.
I think just because I'm so high under Monche, I was thinking that's got to be.
Well, that's why you're so high. That last 3. And then what about this one? Off 1 foot, falling backwards, hand in the face.
Beautiful, beautiful basketball.
Can't defend that any better. So Battle now goes to the line for 2 free throws. I tell you, free throws at that end of the floor.
You say so often, it's such a cliche, but free throws can win you games, and Oakland's right now shooting 50% from the free throw line for the game.
Shooting 50% that time. The Oakland's fans, well, they love that they can see themselves up on the big screen.
Such a big moment for them and their club, their first final. They look like they're enjoying it.
Here's Rob. Dommage drops it off. Brown off the mark, gets her own rebound. Working her way to the basket. Did she walk with it? Yes, she did. A little shuffle of the foot. Trying to be patient with it, but just goes the long way around. Oakland's with the ball, down 3. Ashby hiding behind the screen. Battle goes past the defender. Oh, it's a great block by Harris. The foul was called first, so it won't be statted as such.
Yeah, the heads up just to come across, get off of the split line and come across and help defense, and then to have the timing to just go. I know the whistle had gone, but that would have been a nice highlight too.
If you take the commentary off that clip and just put some music on it, nobody knows.
Exactly, unless you're watching the ref.
Oh, these free throws. One for 2 again. Well, how are your nerves? With 2:20 to go in a 2-point game, Oakland's and Caledonia, one of them going to get their hands on silverware for the first time, but which? Ooh, is that pass to Rob? Can she clean it up? No, she can't. Back for Norton with a great pass out to Ashby. Ashby backs out for 3, no.
Ashby just the heads up to continue and try and gamble for the ball, and Hannah Robb just couldn't snatch it up quick enough.
Foul called.
Monche, she just got such an old head on her shoulders. She couldn't find anything, but she didn't pick the ball up. She kept her dribble, and somehow she manages to create something for her team.
Well, they are over the limit. So it's Caledonia at the free throw line. Orange is 2 of 2 so far tonight. They are 12 of 17 as a team. And more importantly, they're shooting at the end that I think is better to shoot free throws in.
Yeah, because that is factual.
That's factual. That and the fact that she's an 83% free throw shooter on the season.
There we go.
That might be it as well.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Demange is going to sit down. Adams is going to come in. They have a 2-possession advantage here with 104 seconds to go. Chantel Handy urging her team on. She's got the kicks on. I'm surprised she doesn't sub herself in for these last couple of plays.
She'd definitely win the game still if she did.
Knocked away by Rob. Yeah, it'd be easy to play a minute and a half, wouldn't it? It's the practices and all of the grind you got to go through to get there, isn't it? She's ready to go, look.
So invested. I think it's just a reflection of how much time and energy she's put into the preparation.
Well, one of the Great Britain internationals of her generation, now cutting her teeth in coaching and a minute and a half away from a glorious start to that career. Unless Beckford, Norton and co can do something about it. Here she is, top of the key, off the mark. Battle going for the rebound. Tudor wraps her up. Possession arrow says Caledonia will get the ball back with 1:22 to go and a 4-point lead.
And that is what wins you games. Players who are just willing to do whatever works in the moment and on the night for their team. Kat Tudor, usually we see her leading scorer for her team. Just 4 points tonight, but making those big extra effort plays that could win them the trophy.
Oh, Rob was wide open. I thought she was going to shoot it. Tudor does. Back iron. And there's still a chance for Oakland. Beckford Norton running the floor all the way, throws it out the back door. Harris trying to keep it alive. Caledonia somehow scramble it away. Take your time, says Handy. The Scottish fans behind the bench are on their feet for the last minute. Adams out to Tudor. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Looking for a dagger. Rob cutting back door. Rob to the finger roll. It doesn't go. There's still hope for Oaklands. McGee Pleasant almost loses it. They need to go quick. Beckford Norton, they've got to score. It has to go in. It does go in. It's a 2-point game. And Coach Handy's going to give us time to breathe with a timeout. And it all comes down to the last 22.8 seconds of the game.
Big bucket getter, Shanice Beckford Norton. She is never afraid of the moment.
Well, you could see from her eyes, scanning all of the options. And when, you know what, from here, the best option, number 3 with a 17-footer.
Yeah, and she just missed exactly the same shot before that. So the courage and the confidence and just the knowability of herself to go up and take that shot and knock it down shows who she is as a player and a person.
Interesting dilemma here. Chantel Handy can advance the ball to the front court, but doing that takes 8 seconds off the shot clock. So you takes 10 seconds, sorry, off the shot clock. So then you're baiting them into playing defense to try and get a stop. And of course, if it backfires, they could go down and win. Keep it in the backcourt, you've got the risk of you turn it over and they can lay it in and tie the game.
Yeah,
Who'd be a coach?
Well, depending on what Coach Lee Wright, I'm assuming he will try and go for the steal and then possibly look at fouling.
He'll have to foul now because they're going into the backcourt, so the shot clock is off. It's always interesting in that situation. Do you try and advance the ball, take the risk? It is a risk, but you then get the clock ticking and they might not foul you.
When you've got a point guard like Demonche, though, and you know that you've got good free throw shooters, I mean, it's in the hands of Taya Adams. That's probably not the person that they wanted the ball in the hands of, just 50% from the free throw line.
Well, coming into this game, she was 19 of 37 this season. 2 free throws gives them the cushion of a two-possession game. The first one is a long way short. The window is still open. The door is still ajar. Look at the nerves on the Caledonia fans. Makes the second, and Lee Ryan will call a timeout. And I don't think we need to debate whether he'll advance the ball or not, because he certainly will. But what do you do here as a team? Are you looking for a three to tie it? Bear in mind, you're 3 of 13 from three-point range. Are you looking to get to the rim, maybe get a foul? Bear in mind, you're 47% from the free throw line. Where are you going?
I'm going to try and get a quick one. Try and get a quick one and then see if we can get a steal or foul at the other end. And they did a good job. They sent the right person to the foul line. They just need to be aware of the scouting report, know the people, and I'm sure Coach Ryan's going through that now, know the people they want to send to the foul line. That's what I would do personally, get a quick one. I wouldn't play it out and go for a three.
Well, arguably the biggest 21.2 seconds in Oakland Wolves history right now. They need a score. They need to find a way to extend this game. Well, the coaches, both of them, through the ringer here today. But what a game it's been. Whoever wins, whoever loses, what a game it's been. 21.2. Beckford Norton to inbound. Into Ashby. McRae, tough mid-range. Oh, what a bucket! What a bucket!
I mean, she's been the player to go to all night, and Coach Ryan just put in their trust, his trust, and Shanice Beckford Norton putting her trust in McRae was the right decision to make.
Well, I have to say, as she pulled up, I thought, man, this is a tough shot here for Danny McRae, but wow. I mean, again, I don't think Harris can defend that any better than she did right there.
No, and I think we saw it in the short corner on the left side a little bit ago, but just that little lean back and the little bit of distance she gets from leaning back into that shot just takes it out of the reach of any defender, no matter how well you play that one-on-one possession.
So now, of course, Caledonia can advance it into the front court because the shot clock's off either way. The advantage of staying in the backcourt is you can run the baseline. It makes the pass a little easier to make. The advantage of taking it into the front court is if you turn it over, they've got 70, 80, 90 feet to run to score.
I think the advantage as well of having it in the front court is that you can construct somebody to come in. Well, I suppose in the backcourt too, but it's about who comes to get the ball for them now, I think.
She's going for backcourt. She's going for backcourt. So this means the inbounder can run the baseline. They don't have to stand in the same position as they would do on all other inbounding.
See, I might be tempted to have Rob up where Taya Adams is right now.
Right, we're set up. Here we go. It's into Adams, and they're going to foul her straight away. Oakland's basically said, let's get her
Yeah, give
get
her the
ball.
pass. Give her the pass.
Let her have the ball.
That is exactly what we said they would be talking about in the timeout, and that's what they've done. I think just bringing Rob up there might negate that and send Taya Adams down the floor.
Well, Adams once again to the free throw line. Gets the first one to go. Well, this to make it a 3-point lead with 12.6 seconds to go. Makes them both. Clutch from Taya Adams. When they needed it, she found the two. So now with 12.6 seconds to go, Lee Ryan calls the timeout. They almost have to have a three here, do they? Is there enough time for a quick score still?
Well, and the other thing is he doesn't have any more timeouts left. So
No.
this is the last one that he has.
So the other...
And the last one that Chantel has. She
The
doesn't
other
have any
option
more.
that Caledonia have up their sleeve here is a quick foul. Send them to the free throw line.
Risky.
You know, it's risky. Well, this is what it means. Look, they can't even watch, I think. And then, yes, as the ball goes through the net. Punch in the air from McGarrigan. Everybody else on their feet to applaud.
And it does mean so much for McGarrigan, Lewis, Hannah Robb, the Scottish players who you heard them talk in the VT. They would have loved to have had the opportunity to stay at home at university and to get what Caledonia are able to offer their younger players, like Alex McIntosh, who hasn't touched the floor tonight, like Kerry McGee, who hasn't touched the floor tonight. But for them to just be here and be part of this moment, it means so much to these Scottish players.
Here we go then. Can Caledonia, Oakland's force overtime? Beckford Norton gets it back. Beckford Norton driving in, they'll give her the 2. She misses it anyway. Caledonia scrambled to rebound, there's a foul called. There's a foul called. Well, they backed away and said, you take a 2. We're up 3, we don't care.
Smart.
Now, with 1.5 seconds to go, there is a foul called. So Beckford Norton's at the free throw line, and you're in a situation here where you need 1 free throw and then miss and hope one of your teammates gets a rebound. And Battle and De Silva have been subbed in for that job. Can Beckford Norton keep it alive here? Yes. So now she will be trying to miss in the hope that De Silva and Battle can tip it home for the trophy championship. Beckford Norton misses, ball is loose, De Silva, oh no, it's short, and Caledonia have won in dramatic circumstances. De Silva was there, but she couldn't force it home.
Oh my goodness, I mean, every single right play that Lee Ryan could call, great substitutions, almost paid off, but Caledonia just hold on and look what it means.
Well, the celebrations begin, but you can't win in a more dramatic way than that. And Chantel Handy, first year in the job, first silverware up for grabs, and she's got her hands on it.
It's so nice to see anybody in their first year, but Shan and I go back a long way. We played together when we were just teenagers, and just to see her then is her now, the amount of prep she puts in. I know she had these players ready.
But when it comes down to it, it's a scramble at the end. It's almost a free-for-all at the end. And they somehow did just enough to make it difficult for De Silva to force that home. And the Caledonia Gladiators are the trophy champions for 2025. And what a moment to savor, what a moment to enjoy. Those fans, they got up early this morning to come all the way down, but boy, will they enjoy that trip home.
And that's where you can see what the Gladiators are building. Look at how many people have traveled to watch them play in this final. You can see at the end of the court, the owners with a Caledonia Gladiator banner, and they're hugging everyone. Shan's getting the love. They're building something special, and they all feel it.
Yeah, it is a really, really big moment for the club in general to have that sort of reward. They'll have to get that big sword out now, won't they? Let's get the engraver out and get it ready. And this is, let's have another look at the closing stages. Beckford Norton did exactly what she did. De Silva was there and just couldn't quite force it home. And those are the tiniest of margins to win and lose by.
Tiniest, but on the other end of it, though, look at the joy. Coach Donnie McDonald, he's a GB coach too, under 16 women's head coach. And then on the other side of it, Coach Lee Ryan.
Well, he took the charge there, Donnie, didn't he?
Yeah.
He held his ground. He made sure he caught his coach. That was for sure. And celebrations galore out on court for the Caledonia Gladiators. Let's get some reaction as Zania's on the court.
Well, congratulations. Tears in your eyes. Just tell me about this emotion, the ups and downs in this game.
They're amazing. You know, we've had a bit of a hard season. We knew it was going to be a battle. Oaklands is a very good team. They came out, they're competitive, they didn't give in the end. We knew it was going to be a fight, and the girls stepped up and were absolutely amazing today.
How big is this to take this trophy back to Caledonia?
It's huge, you know. I think the men got one, so we thought we wanted to get one too. And I think it's just great for the club. It's great exposure for Scottish basketball. You know, we're trying to develop things up there and try and bring domestic players through, so it's a huge thing just for Scottish basketball alone.
You played them in the championship. You only lost them by 7 or 8 points, but you were coming off Euro Cup. What were the different tweaks that you changed for this game?
Today was about the aggressivity going to the rim. We talked about it all season about we need to get more depth inside in the paint, and it's one thing they did today. And then they made it difficult for us. They put on a show. We knew it was going to be a great game, so it's been absolutely amazing.
Amazing. Go enjoy with your team, Shan. Really proud of you.
She mentioned the men winning that trophy final in Glasgow a couple of years ago. That was in dramatic circumstances, so they really put their fans through the ringer. But this is what it's all about when you've played as hard and the grind and all of that to get to moments like this. Whenever it is you hang them up, these are the days, the nights that you remember. Well, our presentation party have made their way out onto the court. And we are set for the presentation of the medals, starting with our visitors, Oakland Wolves. What a fourth quarter they had. They were in a massive hole at the start of it. They were down by 12 after a minute of the fourth quarter, and it didn't look like they had the offense in them to somehow get it over the line. But as Jim Saker, who's handing out the medals, said, if you got Shanice Beckford Norton on the court, you've got a chance. And she played her part in all of that. And it looked for a second as though Oaklands were going to steal it, but they'll look back at those missed free throws. When they didn't want to miss them, Beckford Norton, when she did want to miss it, missed it in almost the perfect way. It almost landed exactly as they wanted it. But this is a step for Oaklands. This is a long journey that they've been on since their time in joining the top division in women's basketball. This is a landmark, but it's not the end, and I'm sure we will see this team in and around the silverware when it's been handed out over the remainder of this season, and they will learn from today and they will come back bigger, better and stronger, no doubt about that. But finals are about the winners. Finals are about the champions. And today, those champions are in the blue of Scotland. The Caledonia Gladiators, packed with Scottish players as well, will enjoy this as they get all their winners' medals. And the smiles tell you the story. And you can see the enjoyment and the camaraderie of the whole team as they collect their medals. And really, you have to say, the game plan was perfect. They really executed incredibly well. Yes, they had a wobble in the fourth quarter, and yes, they allowed Oakland's right back into it, but they survived that. And those last two free throws as well. How much pressure was Tara Adams under to make those two foul shots? If she doesn't make them both, then Beckford Norton has a chance to send it to overtime. Well, now we have one last presentation. The Moulton MVP.
With 17 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Number 7, Mathilde.
Well, a deserved winner, Mathilde Domergue, the MVP of the 2025 final. She comes to get her golden basketball, applauded by all around, particularly her teammates. What an epic performance she had. A little jig, a little dance, they're loving that as well. And a clear winner of the MVP award. And now is the moment they've worked for, the moment they will enjoy. The chairman, Jim Saker, has the trophy in his hands. The captain, Erin McGarrican, will step to mid-court. They will pose for the banks of photographers right in front of us. And then Erin McGarrican will take hold of it. I think they've all got their pictures. And she will do the now traditional sway. Here we go, 2025 Betty Cadona Trophy champions, the Caledonia Gladiators. Well, they will celebrate long into the night as well. That's the upside of a 12 o'clock tip-off. You get a long day to celebrate, and the Caledonia Gladiators will enjoy this. What a moment for them, what a moment for the club. The first time in their history that the women's team have won a title, and they have the medals and the pictures to prove it. And we will get some more reaction from the studio with Drew.
Wow, what a finish. Let's start here firstly. De Silva, a play that she's probably made 10,000 times. See, she comes up short.
Yeah, well, that was amazingly, you knew you had to throw it up to try and get a rebound, and it falls like that sometimes, you know, and she'll obviously want that play back a million times. Like you said, she'll make it.
Yeah, she's such an experienced player, and I think it is the moment, but also there was so much traffic in there, and she knows that we need this to go to overtime, and it just comes up short. But to even go and get that rebound, to even go and get it, and for Shanice to miss it in the way that she missed it, what composure.
Perfect. Yeah, it's the best they could do. You know?
Yeah, she put themselves in a position to win, is where you want to be, but I need you to break this down to me like I'm 6 years old, because Oakland's is undefeated on the season. You got Shanice, who's won like 12, 13 in a row. It seemed like they were controlling the entire game.
And they lift the sword.
But they're lifting the sword.
And this is Caledonia, isn't it? We talked about it at the top of the show. They never give in, they never give up. They stick to their game plan no matter what is happening in the game or in the season. And that's what they did today, and it paid off for them.
And I spoke about coaching, right? They were going to throw different things at Oaklands. I felt like they handled the pace very quickly. Oaklands was pushing, transition. You know, I think it just let them down a little bit, finishing around the rim. But a fantastic game. The one thing I wanted was a close game. I was super nervous, but wonderful.
And I think that's really important, because they only had 3 points, fast break points, Oakland, and that's something they normally get 19. That's a massive thing for Chantal and the team to be able to slow down. And like you said, they got their options, but Caledonia did just enough to stop them from getting those points.
And I was a little bit worried, of Caledonia. They've been averaging 20 plus turnovers in the trophy, you know, run up to it. So I was thinking, if they can't look after the ball, is Oakland's really going to, you know, pounce on them? But still, they had 22 turnovers today and managed the game. And I think that is what Caledonia is. They're going to keep working. They're never going to give up. They don't care what it looks like. Fantastic. There's owners and
Steve Timothy
yeah,
there.
I'm just really happy for them. All smiles across the board.
Well, they get an opportunity to sketch their name into the sword. And we got the MVP with her. Let's bring her down in the circle. We got Mathilde Demonge. Hey, first of all, congratulations. Describe your emotions to us.
Thank you. I'm so glad to win this night. So I'm French. Sorry, guys, if you don't understand my language.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, with a name like Demonge, but just tell me about being out there, you know, taking the moment. You hit some wonderful shots.
I love this kind of game. I live and I play basketball for this kind of moment. So I like when the team put all the energy on the court. So I give me a lot of energy. So
and you just never seem phased. Like you said, you enjoy the moment, and you are still very young, but you look so mature out there. Talk about your mindset as a point guard. How do you manage the tempo of the game in such moments?
Like I said, I like this kind of game, and I already played this kind of game before, because because I had the chance to play in France with big players, so I learned a lot with this player, like Céline Dumek, everybody. No, I think so. Yeah, I just enjoy the moment, and yeah.
Absolutely. And it seemed like this organization fits your style of play. As we see your teammates there celebrating, talk to us about what does this mean for the Gladiators organization?
And this is the first final for the women in Scotland, so it means a lot for this club. So I'm really happy to take a part of this new history. So yeah, this is amazing for this country. So yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time. We're going to let you go out there and pop some champagne bottles with your teammates. Congratulations. You're a champion.
Enjoy. Congratulations. Good job. Amazing.
Well, I mean, let's stay on Mathilde. Siobhan, how was she able to put her imprint on this game?
We kind of just slightly mentioned it, didn't we, at the top of the show, that she's actually played EuroLeague, she's played Euro Cup as well. So although she's only 23, like she said, she's played with some great players and on a big stage, and she was just ready for the moment. I mean, we can see some of the plays she made here. I think for me, it's the danger that she poses from three, and also the ability of her getting in the lane and then making the right decision in the lane.
And for me also, it's her poise. Look how she's driving. She's taking her time. Her head's up on the rim. She knows where she is. She's not playing like a 23-year-old. She's playing like a grown woman. That she is. She's played in France, one of the biggest, greatest leagues in the women's game, and it's really shown today. She stepped up, and we were wondering who is going to be the person. She dropped 17 huge points, massive, and a big part of their win.
That big three there as well.
Well, everything that we talked about at the beginning of the show was the environment, how that affects shooting, new balls, new rims, all those things. And so Mathilde, her game translated where she was able to get downhill, get to the rim, and she would ultimately end up being the difference.
Yeah, and I think, like Z said, it's how she gets downhill. She's so composed in that she always keeps her dribble, and I think that's such a big thing. You always hear coaches saying to point guards, keep your dribble, have a little look, what's going on, keep your dribble alive, and she does that so well.
Yeah, and just to shout out the Gladiator fans, you know, they came down, they've got their own little section there they are right there, and they deserve this too, to be able to support the team, to see their first trophy. It's massive for a community, especially what Caledonia Gladiators are trying to do. They've built that fantastic new arena. The game is on the rise, and I'm just so happy for them, and just that they can get it. And it was a tough game, wasn't it? They had an 8-point lead at a point, and they just chipped away, and really happy for them.
Well, speaking of that last picture we saw there was your ex-teammate Chantel Handy. You could feel the emotion in that interview. How proud are you of her?
Oh, I'm super proud. You know, I played with her 10 years or more with Great Britain. It's a real hard transition when you're a player and then you're retired, and then what's next, right? For me and for you, we're standing right here. For her, it's coaching, and she really got thrown in it at the deep end, and she survived. And I was in their huddle sometimes, was so composed, was poised, was drawing up all the things which you hope, right? But she looked so comfortable in the head coaching role, and I'm really happy, especially for her, to win that trophy. And she said the boys won one.
Yes, she did. So they got payback from 22. Both of them. Well, Siobhan, final thoughts. We see the progress of women's sports. We got 7,000 people here in the building today. How important is this stage for the women's game moving forward?
It's so important, but I want to really credit the players and the coaches today, because we have this stage, it's here, we're all involved in it right now, but for them to put on the show that they put on today, that's what takes it to the next level. For McRae to hit the shots that she was hitting, you know, for it to get to the end of the game like that and be so exciting, they could have shied away from the moment. This is a big stage, like you said, they didn't, and all credit to them because they're putting the women's game on the map.
Well, the biggest thing is we got competitive balance in the women's game, and that will always be great for the fans there. Well, Siobhan, Z, appreciate your analysis. Appreciate being back in the hole with you guys. Well, to our audience out there, make sure you check us out later for the men's game, part 2. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.